This is the Trib Live High School Sports Network, the official streaming partner of the WPIAL, featuring exclusive coverage of all playoffs and championships. Stretching across 10 counties, 2,000 broadcasts a year, live and forever archived. Trib, hssn.triblive.com.
High school football tradition in Beaver County lives right here on Beaver County Radio.
It is complete to John Lucas at the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
Snap is good. It is down. The kick is up and good.
He's got room. 10-5 touchdown! You better believe it.
Today's game coverage is being brought to you by Dr. C. Timothy Lipp, Beaver County Career Technology Center, the Community College of Beaver County, Electric Garage Door Sales, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Tri-State Neuropathy, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fry Transportation, Keystone Wellness Programs, Drug-Free Aliquippa, the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbutt, Kelly, and George, and the Lockwood Insurance Agency, among others. Now it's time to go into the broadcast booth as 2022 high school football comes your way on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, Facebook Live, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
On a picture-perfect autumn night, 56 degrees temperature here at Central Valley High School, Sarge Albert Stadium, alongside John Parado, Rob Matze, set to call the action tonight in this showdown of sorts. The next 2 weeks, everybody's talking about the Parkway Conference, but it starts tonight as the Central Valley Warriors play host to the West Allegheny Indians. Central Valley comes in undefeated on the season. West Allegheny, the one blemish, a game you had the call of earlier in the season, John, in which they had an opportunity late in that game against number one Aliquippa, but fell by just a few points. Nonetheless, these two teams collide tonight. Everyone's talking about next week. Nobody wants to talk about tonight, but this is a big game tonight.
It is a big game. It's a big game for if you want to have home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs for sure. Central Valley tied with Aliquippa at the top. West Allegheny game back, and for West Allegheny, if they want to at least grab a share of the conference title, they have to win tonight to at least end up in a tie for first place. And, of course, like you said, the big game next week, Aliquippa and Central Valley, both teams unbeaten. But I think Central Valley knows, Mark Lyons is a veteran coach, been around a long time. He knows not to overlook a team at 7-1 in West Allegheny.
I think the interesting thing about tonight's game, and before we get into the details, just howdy hi to our good friend, the sports director, Bob Barrickman. I'm sure he's listening tonight. It's a big one. He's still convalescing, and we're rooting for a speedy recovery, but we'll hold down the fort till you're ready, Bob. So just wanted to say hello to him to get that out of the way here in the pregame show. West Allegheny, how did they get here? They opened up the season at Moon, 41-0, beat South Fayette 40-7. Ringgold 49-7, Newcastle 52-14. The one blemish by 3 to Aliquippa 19-16. They then defeat Chartiers Valley 43-6, Ambridge 40-0, and then Blackhawk last week. That was a tough game. I'll tell you, as we were giving scores on our broadcast last week, and we kept hearing the score, it was 7-7 for the longest time, and then actually it was 13-10 in the overtime before West Allegheny ended up getting the touchdown on their last possession in the second overtime to be victorious over the Blackhawk Cougars. We've both seen Blackhawk. We both now have seen West Allegheny, me on film, you in person. I was a little surprised by the score, I'm not going to lie, but Blackhawk hung tough with them. West Allegheny, some missed opportunities, but in the end, it's all that counts is the scoreboard. They pulled out the victory.
Absolutely. It was a very hard-fought win, as you said, for West Allegheny, Rob. And I got to give Blackhawk some credit, too. They'd really got thumped the previous 2 weeks by Central Valley and Aliquippa, and they hung in there and nearly pulled off one of the bigger upsets of the year in the Beaver Valley area. But, maybe West Allegheny was looking ahead a little bit. Obviously, this is a big game for them, a chance to knock off the team ahead of them in the standings. Maybe they were looking ahead. I don't want to take away from Blackhawk, but I think they're not going to be looking ahead tonight. They need this game badly.
Indeed. Central Valley got here with wins over Trinity 43-20, 37-22 over Avonworth, at Hampton 48-9, 58-13 over Char Valley, and then 3 shutouts in a row, 54-0 Newcastle, 42-0 Blackhawk, 43-0 Montour, then last week 49-7 Ambridge. They scored actually against, it was like the second and third team late in that ball game, so really 3 shutouts plus that 7 points that they gave up a week ago to the Ambridge Bridgers. Their defense is playing very well. Central Valley's really on both sides. Offensively, highest scoring offense in the WPIL, 46.8, but they're only giving up 8.9 points per ball game. West Allegheny, 37 points per ball game, giving up just 8 points a game, so something's got to give here tonight.
Absolutely. 2 real good defenses. You know, I've seen Central Valley twice in person this year. Their defense got a lot better from their 2nd game of the year against Avonworth to the 6th game of the year against Blackhawk. They shut Blackhawk out. And quite honestly, Rob, I think if the game would have went 6 or 7 quarters, they still would have shut out Blackhawk, which is how well Central Valley's defense is. Mark Lyons switched some personnel around after a few shaky outings early in the season. He moved some guys different positions, and it's worked, and their defense has been awfully good. As you said, 3 shutouts, and then last week the reserves giving up a touchdown. But West Allegheny, the only team really to slow Aliquippa down this year, 19-16, they lost that game, and they really held Aliquippa in check into the very end of the game when Tyke Hayes broke off a 35, 40-yard run, got them inside the 5-yard line. But West Allegheny's defense did a very good job against a very good Aliquippa team.
Elsewhere in the Parkway Conference tonight, Aliquippa is at Chartiers Valley. Ambridge is at Newcastle. Blackhawk is at Montour. West Allegheny, boy, under Bob Pelko, it seemed like they were at Three River Stadium and Heinz Field every year, and really the baton sort of passed to Central Valley, and they've been doing it seems, the last few years. Obviously, 3-time WPIL champs, and the last 2 years they win the state championship, so they've had that rich history since they became a school. Mark Lyons, the only ever head coach. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. More pregame show. You are listening to High School Football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Choose your path at Community College of Beaver County and start learning for real life at a realistic cost. CCBC's 2-year degree programs get you trained and earning a salary in less time and with less debt. Programs in aviation, nursing, education, process technology, criminal justice, and more will prepare you for a real future. You belong here. Apply now or learn more at ccbc.edu. If you're a parent that's already watched plenty of youth baseball or soccer games, you know the value of teamwork. Whether it's the team on the field or your team of family members at home, strengthening that group can pay off in many ways. Keystone Wellness Programs is offering their free Strengthening Families program in Beaver County for families of children ages 10 to 14. Learn how to increase family bonding and communications, all while having fun together. Visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org for details.
It's football season, and if you can see the Aquaman of Beaver County heading deep on a fly route to the end zone, it shouldn't surprise you. This is Jim Riggio, the Aquaman of Beaver County from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. Why, you ask? It's obvious. Going deep or the full distance for our customers, no matter what we are up against, is in our game plan. Now, what isn't quite so simple is getting my web feet into a pair of those cleats. This is the Aquaman from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. And looky here, I'm wide open that is, to doing whatever it takes to serve you. Click bfwater.net.
You're listening to High School Football on Beaver County Radio, now in our 75th year of covering gridiron action. Coverage is being brought to you by Friendly Federal Credit Union, the Lockwood Insurance Agency, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Electric Garage Door Sales, Fry Transportation, Luxembourg Garbage, Kelly and George, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Community College of Beaver County, Keystone Wellness Programs, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Drug Free Aliquippa, the Beaver County Career Technology Center, Tri-State Waters, Medic Rescue, and Beaver County Radio.
Back here on the Beaver County Career and Technology Center pregame show alongside John Parado, Rob Matze with the call tonight. Central Valley playing host to West Allegheny. Central Valley comes in tonight, this Parkway Conference matchup. Central Valley, one of the top rushers in Brett Fitzsimmons. He's tallied 1,200 yards on the season, 22 touchdowns. and he has been the key component to this offensive unit as far as running the football. But I don't think a lot of people talk enough about their quarterback. He's a returning starter that won a state title a year ago. The 6'1 senior, 175-pounder Antoine Johnson. Johnson on the season has done a fine job again this year for the Central Valley Warriors. Really, as he is the man, 57 of 91, 11 touchdowns, just one interception for 834 yards. His top target, Javen Thompson. Thompson was the lead receiver a year ago. Again this year, 21 grabs for 408 yards. A dual threat. He'll rush the football as well. 13 total touchdowns for Thompson. So a real three-headed monster, if you will, offensively. Johnson, Fitzsimmons, and Thompson carrying the load for this Central Valley Warriors offense. And
the thing is, with you talk about those three guys, they are so explosive, Rob, that they can score from anywhere on the field at any time. We've seen that with Simmons all year. You mentioned he has 1,200 yards, 12-14 on just 84 carries, which is pretty amazing to have that many yards and not even get to 100 carries yet. Javen Thompson, a dangerous wide receiver, averaging almost 20 yards a catch, 21 receptions for 408. And like you said, Antoine Johnson kind of gets overlooked. Maybe on other teams, people would even stand out a little bit more without as much talent around him. But the thing that stands out about him for a high school player, especially the touchdown-to-interception ratio, 11 touchdowns and only one interception in 91 attempts this season. That's excellent on any level of football, and especially on the high school level.
Matt Garavak's another guy in the offense. I think he's the kind of guy late in this season that could be a key component as the tight end, because they've had so many blowout games. And generally when we get into the second season, we're in the stretch run now. Last game of the regular season next week, you have to believe Central Valley obviously going to be in the top echelon as far as where they're ranked to start the playoffs. Maybe number one if they're able to win out. If not, at the very least 2, 3, or 4, somewhere in that neighborhood, because they've been in that top ranking throughout the course of this season. A tight end late in the season when it's cold and you're really trying to move the sticks against a team that might have some similar talent and similar abilities. Getting that guy open over the middle could be key, and he could have an opportunity really to shine in the second season.
You know, he really could, and he has only 6 catches this year, but for 89 yards. So, you know, he too is averaging almost 15 yards of reception, which is quite a bit for a tight end. And the other thing, he had a touchdown run last week. So, I mean, they will use him in a variety of ways, but I agree he could be a key player. And I think someone else who could be a key player is Serafino DeSantis, the kicker, because, you know, as the games go on here, they're going to get that much tougher down the stretch and into the playoffs for Central Valley. He's kicked 3 field goals, but he also has a very strong leg. He can hit. You know, he can really hit from distance, and in a tight game come the playoffs, or maybe even tonight or next week against Aliquippa, he could be the deciding factor in the game.
Both teams feature outstanding kickers and outstanding special teams. West Allegheny led by their quarterback, Gage Upton, the 5'9 senior, 48 of 102, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks for 767 yards on the season. Two-headed monster again. Hate to continue to use that analogy, but it's true, because they rely on 2 guys to run the football. Brock Cornell and Noden Tracy are the 2 lead backers. Between the 2 of them, they have just under 1,000 yards. Cornell has over 1,000 all-purpose yards on the season. The feature back, 69 carries, 507 yards with the 14 touchdowns on the ground. And of course, Noden Tracy, the 5'11 senior, 79 carries, 278 yards, averaging 4.8 yards and 13 touchdowns. So relying on those 2 guys really to help get their offense in gear is the key to this West Allegheny offense.
It really is, and Dave Shoppy, the coach, makes no bones about it. He feels their best chance to beat Central Valley is to keep the ball, keep possession of the ball, run the clock, keep the ball, have long, grinded out type drives, because he knows how quickly Central Valley can score. So he believes the best way to win this game is to keep the football away from Central Valley.
Indeed, they feature a fine kicker themselves, and Braden Lambert's got 9 field goals on the season, 33 PATs. He missed 3 field goals a week ago in that win over Blackhawk, but he's got a big leg as well. Mark Lyons, the head man. The Central Valley Warriors carrying the longest win streak in Pennsylvania and one of the tops in the country right now. 35-game win streak, the 12th season for Lyons, the only coach the Central Valley Warrior team's ever known. 135 and 29, 11 playoff appearances for Central Valley, and they, of course, the back-to-back champs. And the back-to-back champs hoping to try and get back to the central part of the state again. Dave Shoppy in his 4th year at his alma mater. First 3 years, 10 and 15, changing fortunes this year. They are 7-1 on the season, 17 and 16 overall for the West Allegheny Indians. We're going to step aside, take a timeout, come back, and get you set for the kickoff here tonight. It's a pink out at Sarge Albert Stadium. You're listening to the Beaver County Career and Technology Center pregame show right here on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
I'm Tiani, and I'm Equip.
Hi, I'm John, I'm a Bobcat.
Hi, I'm Cassie, and I'm a Warrior.
I'm David, and I'm a Warrior.
Hi, I'm Dominique, and I'm Equip.
This is Daniel from Hopewell, a proud Viking. Well, it's true that when it's game time, we might be on different sides. It's the other team that we are all part of, a team that will make a real difference once the season is over. That's because we are all training for a very long and profitable postseason at the Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
For 45 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating top-notch performers from all local Beaver County high schools. Our spirited recruits have made the starting lineup and performed like all-stars in many different fields.
Why not join our team? Visit bcctc.org, celebrating 45 years as the best place to start a career. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
Have you ever thought about where the football team would be without the quarterback? They probably wouldn't fare very well at all. Going through life with dental problems can be similar. That's because so much of what we do and how we interact and entertain with others is dependent upon good dental hygiene. If dental conditions have you sidelined, start by calling the right signals with dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip. Visit lipdentistry.com. Dr. C. Timothy Lip, your family dentist on College Hill and Robinson Township.
I just love my Tyler Mountain Waterman.
That's something I hear all the time. This is Stefan Sasek from Tri-State Waters. I'm the guy that is out and about delivering that Tyler Mountain 100% natural spring water. I'm everywhere from New Brighton to Old Economy. Tri-State Waters delivers, and I'm the one driving the truck. From Beaver to Raccoon Township, I'm the waterman they love and the waterman that delivers. We even go to Poland, well, Ohio that is. If you need home or office delivery, call today and ask for Stefan, 724-774-4644.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium on the campus of Central Valley High School. You know, I wasn't sure we were going to broadcast here tonight. There's a lot of folks up here in the press box. I thought maybe we'd be up there on Mastrangelo Hill.
I know.
Calling it from the deck up there overlooking Sarge Albert Stadium. I'm sure they got a refreshment or two up there, too. So having a good time watching the game as the Indians have come out onto the field. The Warriors set to come through the band here momentarily. As we said, it is a pink out here this evening at Central Valley. The flag squad has their pink flags with the pink ribbon, demonstrating their support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October as the Central Valley Warriors get set to come through. And we're a few minutes away from the start of this football game. John, you and I go way back, 35 years. We've actually done a game or two back in the day on different iterations of the Trib Live High School Sports Network. So good to be with you here tonight. I got to tell you, I was happy when Bob asked me this week to step in for him again, and just great to be with you here this evening. As I said, 35 years ago, I think, was when we met. When I first got started, you were in full gear then at the time with the Beaver County Times, and looking forward to working with you here tonight and reacquainting.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to working with you, Rob. Very excited. And I'd like to echo your sentiments from the start of the broadcast. I know our friend Bob Berrickman's out there listening or maybe watching on Facebook Live or both. Knowing Bob, you'll try to do both at once. And we wish you the best, Bob. Get back soon.
All right. That sounds great. Got to say hello to Mel McCoolidge also. Mel, the first ever president of the Central Valley School Board. He's had some health struggles recently, and I know he's listening or watching back home too in Monaco. Captains come out onto the field for the ceremonial coin toss. Javen Thompson along with Antoine Johnson. Also out there, Matt Jarovic and Brett Fitzsimmons. For West Allegheny, it is Nico Taddy. Also out there for the West Allegheny Indians is Shane Tudhill and Brock Cornell. So the coin toss about to commence. They do the coin toss a half hour earlier than the kickoff. West Allegheny has won the toss. They've elected to receive, so they will go right to left and get the football first. 56 degrees is the game time temperature. Central Valley in their Navy uniforms. They've got the Navy tops and bottoms, the Carolina blue letters and numerals trimmed in white, the Carolina blue helmets with the CV insignia on each side and the stripe down the center. West Allegheny in their away white tops with red bottoms, the gray letters and numerals trimmed in red, the gray helmets with the WA emblem on each side of their helmets. And as we said, Central Valley will boot it away left to right to the Indians, so that'll go towards the scoreboard. So that is where they will set up shop and get things ready to go. Serafino DeSantis will tee it up at the 40-yard line.
DeSantis, as we talked about a little bit in the pregame, really strong leg. He occasionally gets the touchbacks for Central Valley, which you don't see much on the high school level, and a real weapon as far as getting putting Center's defense in a good position, because putting the opposing offense in the bad field position. I've seen that happen quite a few times in the two games I've seen Central Valley play this year. He's a very, very good kicker.
Brock Cornell and Nico Taddy back deep for the Indians. And we are ready to get this Parkway Conference matchup underway, along with John Parado, Rob Matsey calling the action for you here tonight. Glad to have you with us on this autumn night. Perfect night for football. It's a high end-over end kick, fielded by Taddy at the 10, across the 15-20. Cuts it inside down to the 30, 35, 40, still on his feet. Get brought down at the 42-yard line. Flag on the play behind the return. So that's normally a hold or an illegal block. Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other, and it's far away from where Taddy caught the ball and then cut to his left. So a penalty flag far away from the action here.
Rick Nucka is our referee tonight, along with Mike Bruno, the umpire. Henry Frengel is the linesman. Gary Lutz, the line judge. Drew Flora is the side judge, and Will Schaefer is the back judge. Let's get the official word. As he comes towards the press box area, it's going to be a hold against West Allegheny. So that'll be a spot foul.
Against West Allegheny, Indians will start first down and 10.
And they will put that one all the way back at the 24-yard line. So that's where the Indians will set up shop offensively, moving right to left. Veneri, Martzoff, Clay, Hughes, and Tudhill are up front for the Indians. Gage Upton is the quarterback. Brock Cornell and Noden Tracy are the running backs. Nick Longo, Jake Babinski are the wides. Two wides, wing right, two wides to the near side. And that's a direct snap on the Wildcat to the 24 on the carry. Noden Tracy, the 5'11" running back. So that keeper gets about 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, tough break for West Allegheny, giving a voting penalty on the kickoff, Rob. They'd have been up to around the 40-yard line, close to midfield, right out of the gates, and exactly what they would want to do to start the game. Now kind of backed up a bit and not much on that first play.
1 yard pickup, second down and 9. Ball in the center of the field, moving right to left. Four wides again. The quarterback Upton will be in the shotgun formation and awaiting the snap. He'll send the slot on the near side. In motion, that is Cornell. Read option, keeper by the quarterback. He'll get to the 28-yard line. Pickup of 4 on the play before he is hit, met, and brought to the turf. Host of blue jerseys there. In there first was Tyler Ondrusik, the 5'10" sophomore. He's got 7 sacks on the season, so they like that run blitz, and oftentimes a run blitz will cause a team that likes to run fits, especially when they're running that read option if they time it just right, filling that A-gap.
Absolutely, and it's clear here early. West Allegheny going right into the guts of the Central Valley defense, trying to see if they can soften them up.
4 wides to the right, 1 to the near side, and now 1 will come in motion and be a slot on the near side. Send another man in motion from the right wing. That is Longo. 3-step drop over the middle and disrupted. Good defensive play that time by Central Valley in the person of De Niro Simpson. He's the rover in that hybrid 3-4 to break up that pass play. Upton was trying to hit Tracy and couldn't connect over the middle, and that'll force a 4th down, and they will be forced to punt the football.
Yeah, Central Valley, very, very tough to move the ball on here for the last month, Rob, and really stepped up there. De Niro Simpson, a really, really nice play to force West Allegheny to punt. Thompson
waiting Nick Longo's punt. He'll stand at the 45-yard line. Warriors late in getting a player on. Finally do. Snap is clean, and the kick is away. A little rugby-style run and kick, and it takes a West Allegheny bounce into Central Valley territory and will roll and rest right at the 43-yard line, and that is where the Central Valley Warriors will set up shop offensively. Offensively for the Warriors, Tyler Costanza, Tyler Ondrusik, Jackson Tanya, Caden Colville, Nick McCreary. Great offensive line. These guys play very well together. They're beefy for sure on both sides of the football. Antoine Johnson is the quarterback, Brett Fitzsimmons the running back, and we will see Javen Thompson as the split end and also Brady Hudson as the flanker. So they'll come out now with 2 wides to the left, flanker to the near side. Shotgun empty set. Jet motion. That's Simpson. Simpson has open field. He's at midfield. Cuts it inside to the 40. Gets into West Allegheny territory. Still on his feet. Somehow kept his balance down to the 34-yard line. A 1st down for the Central Valley Warriors in the West Allegheny territory.
So we talked about in the pregame, Rob, they're explosive from anywhere on the field at any time. A jet sweep there with Simpson. And center's blockers did a really good job of sealing the perimeter so he could get around the right end and got a very big gain, almost 30 yards on that play.
Braylon Brzezinski on the tackle for the Indians. Johnson does a check with me to the near boundary to get the call from Mark Lyons. He'll now go under center and then step back out in the pistol formation and await the shotgun snap. Slot left, wing right. Handoff Fitzsimmons, ball on the near hash, started to the outside, cut it back in, gets down near the 20-yard line before he is hit, met, and brought to the turf. In on the tackle, Richard Martzoff. Also there was Nick Longo for the West Allegheny Indians. 2nd down and 7.
He got those 3 yards pretty much on his own there. West Allegheny was right at the line to stop him, and somehow he pushed forward and got a couple yards there, Mark. And that's the thing about Fitzsimmons. He has the big per carry average, but he's also can do the tough yards when he has to.
Hudson and Simpson split wide left. Thompson is the split end of the near side. Wing in motion, stops, and then the quick handoff to Fitzsimmons. Cuts to the outside, dives back in, gets down near the 21. We'll have a Central Valley 1st down at the 22-yard line before he is hit, met, and brought to the turf. In on the tackle for West Allegheny was Austin Conforti, the 5'9 sophomore. 1st and 10 in Warriors.
The thing really strikes me about Fitzsimmons, Rob, is he hits the hole so quickly. He gets up in that hole before the defense can fill it. And even a play really where it didn't look like he was going to get that much, he ended up with 8 yards, just mainly because of his quickness getting through the line.
Split left, flanker to the near side, wing right. Out of the shotgun snap. Handoff goes to Fitzsimmons, who was lined up to the right of the quarterback, Johnson. He'll go off left tackle. Nico Taddy on the tackle. Also there on the tackle is Brock Cornell. 2nd down and 5.
I'll be curious to see what Fitzsimmons' workload is tonight, Rob. They've won so many games so handily, and they have so many weapons. He's only averaging 10.5 carries a game, which even in today's high school football where you don't see that 35-carry game workhorse anymore is still a pretty light load. He may be asked for more than that tonight.
Indeed, especially in the latter part of this season here as the competition heats up. Fitzsimmons gets the carry, gets to the edge, to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Warriors!
Well, a nice run there by Fitzsimmons. Has broke it off the right side, and again, that quickness to the hole just really gets to the hole before West Allegheny could get there. Then showed a little elusiveness to juke a couple of tackles, and just like that, Central Valley on the board, 6-0 with 7:44 to go here in the first quarter.
Serafino DeSantis comes on for the point after try. Stephen Rutherford will hold. Fitzsimmons has to quickly get to the line of scrimmage because he's the long snapper. Snap, place, kick, everything works. 7-0, 7:44 to go in the first quarter. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. We'll step aside. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
Being part of a credit union is like being part of a team where everyone plays and, more importantly, everyone wins. This is Cindy Hiladio for Friendly Federal Credit Union. If you need a loan, it's game time. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union in Baden-Neuerl-Aquippa. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or click friendlyfcu.org. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You got a friend.
DeSantis tees it up. They'll boot it away. It's a high end over and kick fielded by Caddy at the 7. Across the 10, 15, 20. Puts both hands around the pigskin across the 25 down to the 28. And that's where West Allegheny will have it for their second offensive series. In on the tackle there for the Central Valley Warriors, J.J. Work, the 5'10 freshman. He also plays on the defensive side of the ledger as a freshman for the Central Valley Warriors team.
You know, Taddy's showing some good speed here in the return game. Both times very sure of himself. Caught the ball and took it right away. Sprinted right up the middle. And this time no penalty, which is a positive for West Allegheny, because you wonder how things might have been a little different if they wouldn't have had that holding penalty on the kickoff.
Indeed. Ball on the near hash, moving right to left. Tight end comes in motion. He'll line up on the near side as a wing. Slot right. Flanker to the near side. Handoff inside, met at the line of scrimmage and brought down. Loses the football, but they'll say Cornell is down. Host of blue jerseys there on the tackle there first was Andrusik. Also there for Central Valley was Mason Dixon. Dixon was out for the last couple of weeks, but he's back in the lineup playing linebacker for the Central Valley Warriors football team. 2nd down and 8.
Central Valley not giving much quarter here early in the game. West Allegheny doing what they said they would do, nothing fancy, nothing, no frills, running the ball, attacking this middle of that defense. And so far, Central Valley is held firm through the very first part of this game.
West Allegheny quickly out of the huddle. Send wide, 3 to the left, and a whistle. Are we going to have a timeout, or is there a penalty? Let's see. They're going to call the delay of game. They were quick to get out of the huddle, and they called the delay of game. That was fast, but West Allegheny unable to get the play off, so they'll move the football back. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do, Rob, is hurt yourself with pre-snap penalties against a team like Central Valley. And, all of a sudden you're coming in, you're trying to run the ball, trying to establish the ground game. You're already down 7-0. Now you're putting yourself in 2nd and long, and West Allegheny doing no favors for itself with that penalty.
2nd down and 13. Slot right, flanker to the near side. The tight end on the near side goes in motion, lines up on the right side. 4-man front for Central Valley. 3-step drop. Pressure is on, gets the pass away, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Central Valley at the 39-yard line. Coming up with the interception for Central Valley is John Peterson, the 5'9 senior.
Well, overthrow there by the quarterback Upton, and Central Valley right there to pick it off. But, just good defense by Central Valley. They had everybody covered, and Upton kind of forced the throw and got picked off. And that's what Central Valley does, too. They just feast off turnovers.
Take advantage of the miscues all the time. Let's see if they go up top. They'll hand it off on the read option to Fitzsimmons. Busts it to the outside, gets to the edge, far boundary near the 30-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down. In on the tackle, Cornell for West Allegheny. He's going to have just about the length of a football away from a first down, 2nd down, and short. And quickly, Central Valley comes to the line of scrimmage. Two wide stack to the near side, wing left, flanker left, out of the gun. Read option, keeper, rolling near side, firing over the middle, finding the intended target, reeling it in for the first down into the red zone. On the grab that time for the Central Valley Warriors, Javen Thompson, the 6'2 senior, getting some Division I looks is Javen Thompson, the lead receiver a year ago, injured West Allegheny Indian down on the turf. They'll take a look at him. We can take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk and let you know Montour now up 6-0 in that game early.
Not sure who the injured player. Hard to make out his number right now. He's sitting up though, so that's a good sign.
They were supposed to change the rules from the National Federation of High Schools to ensure that they went back to block numbers and that you could actually see numbers, and they were bigger in size. I got to tell you, some of the numbers are difficult. It's a challenge. I know I'm old at this point, but and selfish from the perspective of announcing the football game, but even for the fans to be able to make out those numbers, oftentimes it's a little difficult. The injured player is up, and he walks off on his own, and that is Braylon Brzezinski, the 5'10 senior. Looks like it might be a shoulder. We won't assume, but they'll take a look at him on the far boundary. 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Ball resting at the West Allegheny 18, moving left to right. Two wides to the right, ball on the near hash. Slot in motion, jet sweep, gets the carry. No, the handoff goes straight up the gut. That's to Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons will get to the 17-yard line, pickup of 1.
Well, you know, Central Valley has a very diversified offense, and they have a lot of different kids that they use to in their offense to get the ball to. But it's clear what Mark Lyons is doing here in this game. He's going to give the ball to Fitzsimmons and keep giving it to him as long as he's effective, and I think he's willing to at least they get a decent lead to just go to Fitzsimmons and give him a heavier workload than he's been accustomed to. And not that Fitzsimmons won't be able to handle it. He's a pretty big, strong kid.
The shotgun snap, the handoff goes to Fitzsimmons, was lined up to the left, gets through the tackle, somehow finds a way into the end zone. An outstanding run. You won't see a better one. 17-yard scamper for the Central Valley Warriors, second touchdown of the night.
Wow, I thought West Allegheny had him stopped right at the line of scrimmage or thereafter, and just a burst and just showed his speed and his strength there, Rob, and got his way all the way into the end zone. And just an amazing season for Brett Fitzsimmons, continuing tonight with touchdowns of 11 and 17 yards now already, and we're only barely halfway through the first quarter.
DeSantis on for the point after try, and it is good. 14-0 our score, 5:06 to go in the first quarter. A timeout. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Have peace of mind that when an emergency strikes, we'll be there. That's why a Medic Rescue membership is so important. Medic Rescue has been Beaver County's #1 provider of emergency medical care and transport services for over 40 years. Our trained paramedics and emergency medical technicians are knowledgeable, experienced, and can evaluate emergencies quickly and accurately so that you get the life-saving care you need. Get the comfort that comes with a Medic Rescue membership. Call today, 724-728-3621. Medic Rescue, caring for our community.
Seen forever.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium alongside John Parado, Rob Matze, 5:06 to go in the first quarter. It has been all Central Valley, 14-0. And we go back, you said it at the start of that lost offensive series for Central Valley. That penalty on that nice kick return and the opening kick for West Allegheny, they were near midfield and had to go all the way back inside the 20-yard line. What could have been potentially, nonetheless, momentum quickly changed. Central Valley pouncing on it.
You've gone what would have been exactly what Dave Shoppy would have drawn up to start the game to now everything that Mark Lyons would have drawn up to start the game.
Kickoff fielded at the 10, across the 15, 20, 25, inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. And that is Nico Taddy once again. Nico Taddy's dad was a lineman at Ambridge back in the late 80s, and I actually went to school with his uncle, who was also a lineman. How'd they get a speedy little guy like that? Because those two guys were big men.
I don't know how that worked out. Some kind of reverse genetics or something.
Indeed. Ambridge leading as we take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update desk over Newcastle 7-0. Good segue there. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Split right, flanker to the near side. Movement on the line. It's going to come back as the tight end came in motion, lined up as a wing on the near side, and he got on his toes a little too much, and a false start.
And this is very reminiscent of the Blackhawk Central Valley game a couple weeks back, 3 weeks back, I guess it was now, where Central Valley took control of the game early and went on to win 42-0. I would suggest that this game will be like that, but it's feeling very similar here in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Ball on the far hash out of the pistol. The wing on the near side goes in motion. Handoff goes to the lone setback off the right side. That is Tracy. Tracy gets to the 26-yard line before he is hit, met, and brought down. On the tackle, De Niro Simpson. Also there was Work. 4:46 on a turning first quarter clock. 14-0 is our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny.
I certainly understand West Allegheny's strategy here, trying to hold the ball, trying to run the ball. But I got the feeling the way this game's gone so far, they're not going to be able to run the ball much on Central Valley. They may have to pass more than they normally would like to get back into this game.
I would agree 100%. Looks like a miscommunication on the handoff as the quarterback Upton wanted to go left and had to go right. Gets it off to Tracy, goes up the middle, and gets maybe a couple on that play. Another unsung hero for the Central Valley Warriors team is Jackson Tanya. He comes into tonight's game with 10 sacks, 67 tackles, but more importantly, 20 tackles for loss. And, you know, he had double-digit tackles in the championship game last year at Hershey and was the CCBC Player of the Game on Beaver County Radio, and everyone wanted to talk about Fitzsimmons, and he's getting playing time at Pitt as a true freshman, but Tanya had like 3 or 4 tackles less than Fitzsimmons, so a little bit under appreciated, I think, at times when you have someone that is taken on lead and an interception. Unbelievable pick and a score. How did he grab it? The big pause from Jackson Tanya right on cue as we were talking about him, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, Central Valley really read that play, the little flare pass, little screen pass. Tanya looked like almost like they were throwing the ball right to Tanya. That's how open he was to run back that interception. And, boy, this Central Valley is really showing why, for anybody who kind of doubted and said they hadn't played much competition, were they really a good team or not, or was it a matter of competition, they're certainly showing they're a good team.
I agree 100%, and the kick is good. 21-0 is our score, 3:28 to go. Tanya on cue, let me tell you, you couldn't write that play any better for him. The big pause went up, and he stacked it out of the air. 21-0 our score. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Balcones Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Tom Alexander.
Another good man. Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium. Central Valley. Joe Klimchak in the PA tonight.
He is. Joe Klimchak, the in-game host at PNC Park. And noted bathroom fixture pitchman, Joe Klimchak.
Center alum.
The pride of center.
Yeah, Mike Rossi, normally the PA announcer, but couldn't be here behind the mic tonight, so Joe's stepping in. So good to hear his voluptuous tone here at Sarge Albert Stadium. Kickoff fielded at the 5, right up the gut. 10, 15, that's Taddy again across the 20. And he gets down near the 23-yard line, and that is where West Allegheny will have it, 1st and 10. And John, you said it going into the break, Rob Matsey along with John Parado on the call, that it was not necessarily overlooking this week for next week in a trap game or anything like that, and starters haven't had a chance to play full games, and would they be up for the challenge? That they're up for this challenge.
Oh, they absolutely were. And you do wonder. I mean, obviously Mark Lyons and his coaching staff been around a long time. They know not to look over anyone. But you never know how the players are going to be. They're human. They know it's a big game coming up next week, but they certainly look focused on this game.
I think they're going to have to switch up this offense. And a fumble, a strip in the backfield. Again, Tanya stripped it, picked up, touchdown. Wow, Tanya comes through, strips it, and it's picked up by Rylan Jeter, who scampers into the end zone for the Central Valley Warriors touchdown. Tata, let me tell you something. He's putting on a show here tonight for everyone.
He really is. This, just right after you said he was underappreciated, kind of overshadowed on this team, he's intercepted a pass and ran it back. Then he caused a fumble. That got ran back for a touchdown, and it's 27-0. And boy, he is all over the field. A great interception. Not only is he very talented, but he has such great instincts, Rob. He just really knows he has a nose for the ball.
Jeter got the fumble recovery for the touchdown. I think the point after try is good. We'll keep it right here during this change of possession, because I got to tell you one thing that been doing this a long time, and it doesn't always work that way. You're talking about somebody, and boom, all of a sudden, on cue, it happens, and in 2 plays in a row on defense, he steps up and really showing what he is made of. 28-0 is our score. Central Valley all over West Allegheny with 3:14 to go here in this first quarter.
Wow, I'm not surprised Central Valley's winning. They're obviously very good, but if you would have told me, 15-20 minutes ago, it'd be 28-0 with 3:14 to go in the first quarter. I wouldn't have believed that. West Allegheny, obviously a good team. You don't get to 7-1 without being a good team. You can't fake 7-1. And I do think, as I mentioned briefly, I think Central Valley, there have been some people who question just how good they may be because of the schedule they've played, but this is the toughest game they've had so far on their schedule, and they're up 4 touchdowns already.
3:14 to go here in the first quarter. DeSantis tees it up in the center of the field this time. Cornell and Taddy back deep, standing near the 5-yard line for the West Allegheny Indians. And DeSantis boots it away. A high end over end one fielded this time. At the 5, across the 10, 15, busting it to the outside, 25, spin move near the 30-yard line, far boundary. Cornell gets it to the 34-yard line, and that is where the West Allegheny Indians will set up shop offensively, moving right to left.
Well, they have good field position, and that's got to help. The return game has been pretty good, Rob. They have been able to get decent fielding position, except for the one penalty on the opening kickoff. But down 28-0, this isn't a team built to score in a hurry, and they're going to have to score some points here fairly soon just to stay within striking distance if they were going to pull off any kind of epic comeback.
Indeed. Slot right, flank to the near side. Slot on the far side in motion. Inside handoff, goes up, dives across the 35 near the 40-yard line on the carry that time. Was Cornell. Simpson in on the tackle for the Warriors.
It's one of the few times the running backs have had much room to run. It was a nice little misdirection play. Broke Cornell open for a few yards, but the yards West Allegheny has gained in this game, and there haven't been many, have really been hard to come by against this center defense.
From the Fry Transportation Incident Update Desk, Aliquippa now in the lead 28-0. That's a first quarter score also. Montour over Blackhawk 13-0. That also a first quarter score. Handoff again inside. Gets to the 40-yard line. Maybe a pickup of one. Cornell on the tackle that time for the Central Valley Warriors was J.J. Work, also Matt Garavak.
Tried a little more misdirection that time, but center snuffed it out. It was like not 2 times in a row you're going to get positive yardage on us. And, I can't say enough about this center defense. And obviously, the offensive playmakers we have. But since having a little bit of problems, and even those points they gave up early in the season, a lot of them were the second team. But, Mark Lyons saw some problems with the defense, went and fixed them early, and now they're almost impenetrable.
Indeed. Wing right. Split right. Inside handoff, busting it to the outside, finding some daylight. That is Tracy. Tracy gets the first down across midfield into Central Valley territory before he is wrestled to the turf by De Niro Simpson. And that is where West Allegheny will have it 1st and 10. Best field position of the night thus far, trailing 28-0 with 1:28 to go in the first quarter.
Boy, what a nice run there by Tracy. Went off right tackle, saw nothing there, broke it back to the left. There was an opening and turned it into a nice gain.
Central Valley Warriors ladies basketball coach Chris Rosso listening. He, of course, texts me some smart comments about listening to the two legends, he said. I said, well, we appreciate that. The handoff, actually keeper by the quarterback, Gage Upton.
I hope that Chris Rosso is having a glorious time listening to our broadcast tonight. I really hope it's a glorious time for Chris. Yes.
Glorious. 2nd down and 7. I had him on the air with me for a couple of seasons when he was between jobs many, many years ago.
I'm sure he was very good.
We did basketball together. Yeah, he
he's
did
very, very perceptive, has a good sense of humor. And after reading Bill Utter back in the Beaver County Times all those years, he has a very big vocabulary.
The tight end wanted to go in motion. He'll stay put. Slot near side, flanker right. Inside handoff again. They're staying with it. He's hit from behind, but gets away from the tackle that time, but not for long as he can't get into the secondary. The linebackers were there, as were the defensive linemen who just ran with the play. Fitzsimmons, Jeter, and Tanya once again in on the tackle.
And again, West Allegheny trying, and there's the end of the quarter.
1 quarter in the books with the score. Central Valley 28, West Allegheny nothing. Second quarter action coming up on the flip side. You're listening to High School Football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Attorney Larry Kelly.
At Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, we have a culture. And that culture is that we're not going to get out lawyered. We're going to make sure that we know the law as well as anybody. You don't even have an idea what facts are important until you know the law. Once we identify the law, we know what facts will determine the outcome of this case, and then we go out and investigate those facts to make sure that we have a factual pattern that is supported by the law that could lead to a successful outcome for our clients.
For your initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium. 3rd and 3 for West Allegheny, now moving left to right to start of the second quarter. Trailing 28-0 alongside John Parado, Rob Matsey with the call. Upton, the quarterback, hands it off inside once again. Busting through the line for the first down. Good run that time for Brock Cornell, the 5'10 sophomore. Just a sophomore. He's a big kid, so he's saying his name a lot next couple of years because stands in on the tackle for the Warriors.
It seems like West Allegheny's finally been able to take a deep breath here, Rob, and kind of just relax a little and get into the flow of the type of game they wanted to get into. And I know down 28-0, that puts them in a pretty big hole, but they are now. This is how they wanted to play. This is exactly the way they wanted on this drive.
Ball on the far hash, moving left to right. Then hands it off to Cornell again. Up the middle, they found a hole there in that A-gap going right up the gut. Gets into that secondary down to the 25-yard line. So a big pickup, 2nd down and manageable, short for the Indians.
Yeah, the Indians have clearly made some adjustments here because they did not move the ball at all the first couple of possessions. And now they seem to have found a few soft spots in that Central Valley defense. And they're getting pretty good yardage on first down, putting them in good second and short situations and being able to convert those.
2nd down and 3. Tight end, again, comes in motion, lined up at first on the left, comes to the right. Keeper this time by Upton up the gut, hit met and brought to the turf in a hurry. Jackson Tanya, the 6'1", 225-pound senior on the tackle. From the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk, Aliquippa extends their lead 35-0 now over Chartiers Valley. 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. 10:26 on a turning second quarter clock.
West Allegheny doing what Dave Shoppy hoped they would do, Rob, but I think he was hoping to do it when it was 0-0 instead of 28-0.
Split left slot to the near side. Handoff Cornell. He is tripped up as he gets across the line of scrimmage. He's going to be just shy. It's going to be 4th and short. Depends on the spot, but I think he's going to be just short.
Well, it'll be interesting. They have a very good field goal kicker, but do you kick a field goal when you're already down 4 touchdowns? I would assume they're going to go for it, and they are.
Yeah, I would say. Roman Police, the 5'11" tight end, comes out into the ball game. So they'll come out with a 2 tight end set. 4th and short. Gage Upton, the 5'9" senior, comes into the huddle, breaks. Power pistol, strong right. Police is the right of the quarterback in that power pistol. The handoff, hit, met in the backfield, depends on the spot. Tracy on the carry. I think he's going to have it on that second effort.
Yeah, I was going to say initially I didn't think he made it, but a really good second effort. I'm pretty sure got him over the line for the first down, and yes, they aren't going to measure it.
From the Fry Transportation Instate Update Desk, our game on WMBA, Beaver 21-0 over Quaker Valley. 1st and 10 for the Indians, ball on the 23-yard line. 28-0 is our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. West Allegheny knocking on the red zone door. Slot left, ball on the far hash. Split to the near side. Tight end comes in motion, lines up on the right side. Getting the shotgun snap is Upton. Fires out into the flat, finds the open target. He's going to have the first down. Reeling it in there is Nick Longo, the 6-foot senior. And that'll be 1st and 10 in the red zone for the Indians.
Well, finding his favorite target, Nick Longo, the leading receiver for West Allegheny, now his 13th catch of the year. And, you know, I know they want to run the ball, and obviously they can, and they have ran the ball well most of the year. But, you know, Gage Upton is a pretty decent quarterback. He's got 767 yards passing, so they can go to the air when they need to. They're not going to win games throwing all the time, but they can certainly beat you through the air at times.
Upton gets the shotgun snap, hands it off to the setback to his right, gets through the line of scrimmage, finds himself into the secondary, deep inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Nice run. Simpson in on the tackle.
We have a listener from Springfield, Missouri, the great Kerry Boer, who used to work for Baseball America magazine, now runs the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Maybe, who knows, Mats, maybe we'll get into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame someday. We have an in.
We got time. Split right, flanker to the far side, the wing right. Tight end comes in motion again, left to right, will line up on the right side. Getting the shotgun snap and keeping it all the way is Upton. Upton goes up off the right side. He'll get a pickup of about a yard. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short. They can make a 1st down without getting into the end zone.
Oh, the power of the internet and social media. And while I'm rambling on, West Allegheny's on the doorstep. And, boy, this would be huge to give them any chance to win this game, to punch one in here. And then after you do that, then you're going to have to play good defense. But first things first, you need to get the ball in the end zone.
McClaffrey is the split end wide left. Ball in the center of the field. Power pistol right. Upton hands it off Cornell off the right side. He's tripped up. Second effort, powers his way. He'll have the 1st down, I believe, and then he'll bring it up 1st and goal, I believe. Let's see.
I thought he got the 1st down, Rob, but we'll see how good my eyes are. Let's see if they're going to measure or not.
They're just going to say 1st and goal, I believe.
You know, one thing I've noticed this season, they rarely ever call the chain gang out anymore. The officials pretty much call it from the field. I don't think I've seen maybe not even one measurement all season.
To be fair, we've had some games that weren't very close either.
True.
1st and goal from the 1. Ball on the near hash, moving left to right. Upton hands it off to Cornell. He's drilled in the backfield, but on second effort gets into the end zone for the West Allegheny touchdown.
And a nice run by Cornell there. A couple good hard running, 2 plays in a row. Got the big 1st down to reset the downs for West Allegheny. It's into the end zone, and, West Allegheny needed something positive to happen because not much positive happened in that first quarter. And you got to think if they can get a stop here, maybe get back in, score again, and keep it close.
Swinging gate they come out in, and Lambert will now line up for the point after try. Try and catch Central Valley off guard to maybe jump and give them an opportunity instead of being at the 3 for the point after try and move it ahead half the distance. It splits the uprights. 28-7 is our score. 6:41 to go here in the second quarter. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Insurance doesn't adequately describe what we sell. This is Renee from the Laughlin Insurance Agency. Sure, affordable insurance is the means that allows us to do it, but what we really provide at the Laughlin Insurance Agency is peace of mind. It's true, worrying about risk can take the fun and joy out of almost everything. We see every day how having peace of mind can lead to more enjoyment, which, last time we checked, is a fairly priceless commodity. Make life more enjoyable. Call us at 724-774-1230.
Curtis, why'd you ruin the program at New Brighton?
It's your fault. Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium alongside John Parado, I am Rob Batsey here at Central Valley High School. 28-7 our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. West Allegheny knocked on the door and they got through it that time to get their first score of the night.
About that, our producer Curtis Walsh here putting up with us tonight in our hijinks, and they last week at New Brighton, I was there with Mike Izzadi, Western Beaver New Brighton, found something out about our friend Curtis Walsh, 4-year member of the band, drumline, then bass guitar.
Oh.
He had the cool positions.
That's exactly right. You're not kidding. Kickoff fielded at the 15, across the 20. Jeter across the 30 down, and they'll spot it. Let's see where they spot if his knee was down or not. It's going to be across the 30, so it'll be down. I'm not sure. They haven't put the football down. Where's the ball at? It's like
it's somewhere. It's around the 35.
Okay, the line judge is giving them a spot. They're going to say it's right at the 32-yard line, so that's where they'll have it moving right to left. Antoine Johnson brings his troops out onto the field. The quarterback, 6'1", 175-pound senior. He'll dispatch a flanker to the right, split near side, slot on the near side, becomes a wing in motion. Two-step drop, fires it out near side to Thompson. Thompson busts away from the defender, cuts towards the near boundary, and then he is finally tackled, gang tackled after a nice pickup. And Nico Tadian on the tackle there for the Indians, and that'll bring up a second down and short. So quick little pass play to Thompson, getting him involved in the offense, leading 28-7.
For a split second there, I thought Thompson was going to put a spin move and go to the end zone, but Taddy did a really good job of recovering and taking him down with a couple of teammates, knocking Thompson out of bounds.
Taddy is safety, 28 tackles coming into tonight's game. Had a big pick against Aliquippa, a couple of sacks on the season as well. Out of the pistol, the wing comes in motion. Hands it off to the lone setback. Bouncing through the line of scrimmage and into the secondary. Fitzsimmons for the Central Valley Warrior first down near midfield. They'll mark it at the 46-yard line. Brock Cornell in on the touchdown, on the tackle, I should say, from his safety position. 1st and 10, Central Valley.
I've got to give Center's offensive line credit there. It really opened a nice big hole for Fitzsimmons to get through, and like we talked about before, just has that burst to the line. He just gets to the hole so quickly. But that time, he didn't need to get there quickly because they opened a huge, huge hole.
Ball on the near hash, moving right to left. Slot right, flanker to the right. Wing right, slot comes in motion near side. They fake the jet sweep, firing it post. Thompson reels it in. Thompson kicks it into high gear. Thompson will go into the end zone for the touchdown. Just like that, 54 yards.
Nothing fancy, nothing special, just air the ball out. Thompson got behind the defense, and you're usually not going to chase Thompson down once he gets behind the defense, and they didn't. And, just like that, I was going to say maybe Central Valley's offense be a little rusty. They hadn't been on the field for a while, but, no rust there, and all of a sudden they answer the score and they get up by 4 touchdowns.
DeSantis on for the point after try at the 5:06 mark of the second quarter. He'll kick it away and splits the uprights. 35-7 is our score. 5:06 to go here in the second quarter. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Choose your path at Community College of Beaver County and start learning for real life at a realistic cost. CCBC's 2-year degree programs get you trained and earning a salary in less time and with less debt. Programs in aviation, nursing, education, process technology, criminal justice, and more will prepare you for a real future. You belong here. Apply now or learn more at ccbc.edu.
No, neither but not. No, I agree, 100%. Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium at Central Valley High School, 35-7 is our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny here in the second quarter. 5:06 to go. Alongside John Parado, I am Rob Matze. Glad to have you with us. Outstanding pitch and catch that time, Johnson to Thompson for that big 50-plus yard touchdown. And I'll tell you, he ran that post and he just took off.
He did, and just a great play. And he's a real weapon. He doesn't have gaudy numbers. Nobody on this, well, outside of Fitzsimmons, but he's averaging over 20 yards a catch, and he's just such a big play threat. And every time you get the ball in his hands, whether it's on offense or in the return game, he has a chance to score.
Santis will kick a little short this time, fielded at the 15, across the 20. That is Taddy again. Taddy to the 25, and he's tackled a shoestring tackle there at the 26. JJ working on the tackle. He's doing yeoman's work, if you will, on special teams here tonight. That's his second or third tackle. 4:59 to go here in the first half. 35-7 is our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny.
You know, nobody plays the perfect game, but Central Valley certainly played almost perfectly here in the first half, Rob. They've scored on all 3 of their possessions. They've scored 2 defensive touchdowns. And other than allowing West Allegheny to put that long scoring drive together on West Day's last possession, that's really the only blemish in this game so far.
3 wides to the left. The handoff goes straight up the gut. That is Cornell. Cornell will get a pickup of close to 9 on the play before he is hit, met, and brought to the turf by Rylan Jeter, the 5'11 senior. Will he have the first down? They'll give him forward progress. Yes, 1st and 10, so he did get 10. Got to that line at gain. I thought he was going to get brought down, but they'll say no, he got across.
You know, they're using a lot of quick hitters here, and that seems to be working against the center defense more than kind of trying to pound it out and go in the heart of the defense. But, you know, if you're Dave Shoppe, you're wondering where was this the first couple possessions.
Play action, tipped at the line of scrimmage, almost intercepted. They were trying to get a quick little slant to Tracy, was lined up as a wide to the left. And it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Tanya with the big paw.
I think it was, too. That's what it looked like to me. And as we've already talked about, he's been all over the place on defense for Central Valley tonight. Keep on saying center, Rob. Old habits are hard to break. When you covered 1 million games here at Center High School, it's a little hard still to say Central Valley, though. They certainly can't argue with success.
No.
Central Valley.
Cornell gets the inside handoff, gets maybe 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. In on the tackle for Central Valley was Matt Garavak, the 6'2 senior. Nice to see they've got a portrait of Sarge up here in the press box.
It really is. Our old friend, the late Sarge Alberts, longtime basketball coach at Center High School, and then the athletic director for about 1 million years after that. And one of the great golf aficionados I've ever known. Sarge, if you couldn't find Sarge at Center High School, you figure he's on the golf course.
3rd down and 8. Ball on the 38, moving left to right are the West Allegheny Indians. 3-step drop, all kinds of time, lets it fly, and it's intercepted. Timing it perfectly on the far boundary, and picking it off is big number 7, no surprise. Thompson reels in the pick, his 3rd interception on the season.
And he's all over the place. He is just such a threat, Rob. I'm really impressed. You know, he just he really makes his team go in a lot of ways. He really, really, really is a very valuable player for Central Valley, both sides of the ball and special teams. And, West Allegheny's got to be a little demoralized now. Tried to move the ball through the air to get a quick score to get back in it. Now Central Valley has it with enough time to score again, although in their case, if they have more than 5 seconds, it's usually enough time to score.
Well, I got a story about that. Fitzsimmons gets the carry. Fitzsimmons busts it to the outside. Fitzsimmons gets to the edge. Fitzsimmons cuts it back inside. Fitzsimmons in midfield. Fitzsimmons a foot race. Fitzsimmons to the 30. Fitzsimmons to the 25. Fitzsimmons brought down from behind at the 15-yard line.
Not sure how he did that, Rob. I thought he was going to get about 5 yards out of the play, and he gets about 50. And just great elusiveness, broke away from a couple of tacklers and outrun a couple people, then eluded a couple more tacklers before he's finally brought down after a really long game.
Fitzsimmons, the 5'10 senior, that low center of gravity, just running through defenders, finding an opening and hitting that seam and getting a big pickup into the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 15. Out of the pistol, the handoff goes to Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons dances through the defense, gets down across the 5, down to the 4. They'll say he's at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Warriors.
You really wonder if he was on a team where he actually played 4 quarters all the time, what kind of numbers he would put up, because he's got now at least over 1,300 for the season. And he hasn't played all that much. He hasn't played in a lot of fourth quarters.
Under center is Johnson, full house backfield. Inside handoff, Fitzsimmons off left tackle. Fitzsimmons swirls into the end zone for the Central Valley Warriors touchdown.
Just smashed his way through. He does it all. He's got speed, he's got elusiveness, and he's got the power when he needs it. And we're going to have a running clock perhaps when the second half begins. And I don't think anybody saw, when you have the number 3 team in Central Valley and the number 5 team in West Allegheny in the Trib High School Sports Network rankings, you don't expect a mercy rule game.
DeSantis' kick is good. 42-7 is our score, as Central Valley leads West Allegheny. A timeout, more action on the flip side. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
If you're a parent that's already watched plenty of youth baseball or soccer games, you know the value of teamwork. Whether it's the team on the field or your team of family members at home, strengthening that group can pay off in many ways. Keystone Wellness Programs is offering their free Strengthening Families program in Beaver County for families of children ages 10 to 14. Learn how to increase family bonding and communications, all while having fun together. Visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org for details.
They're up 42. Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium at Central Valley High School, 42-7 is our score. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. Conclusion to tonight's game, we'll have the Electric Garage Door Sales postgame show. We'll pick the CCBC players of the game from each team, and that'll all be coming up after the game. From the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk, Aliquippa now leads Chartiers Valley 42-0. Upper St. Clair 27, Moon nothing. Ambridge up 14-0, now 21-0 over Newcastle. Kickoff by DeSantis, bobbled at the 5-yard line, then hit met and brought down in a hurry there for Central Valley coming down on the coverage. He went down to the turf quick. That was Brendan McClafferty, the 5'11 senior.
That was
I felt that up here.
I did too. Poor guy really got hit hard and actually fumbled too, but he was already falling out of bounds, so Central Valley didn't get the ball back. But, that's one thing West Allegheny had done consistently well tonight, was have kickoff returns. And now down 35, they're pinned inside their 10. And with 2:43 to go, that puts even more pressure on West Allegheny. I mean, you don't want to go into the half down 35, but you also don't want to give Central Valley the ball back.
Exactly. They're in good field position. They are deep in their own end at the 9-yard line. Handoff, nowhere to go. A loss of yardage all the way back to the 5 would be a loss of 4. Longo on the carry that time. Looked like Andrusek in on the tackle. Also there for Central Valley was Tanya again. Anya, outstanding football player.
Yeah, he's really been all over the field tonight. And the interception return, the big forced fumble that didn't set up, but led to a touchdown. And he's everywhere.
Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13. Got a discussion now with the white hat and Coach Mark Lyons on the near boundary. Not sure what the discussion is about, obviously. But whatever it is, Mark is satisfied. He'll come back to the near boundary. And we'll get underway here momentarily. Again, not sure exactly, but we'll get the whistle and we'll start play. 2:16 to go here in the second quarter. West Allegheny finds themselves on their own 6-yard line. 2nd down and 13, moving left to right. Upton hands it off. That is to Cornell off the right side. Cornell, check that on the run. That is Noden Tracy, the 5'11 senior. And in on the tackle on Drusik again, an interior lineman. 3rd and 13 now, forthcoming.
Timeout, Central Valley.
Warriors call a timeout smartly. You have them, call them, force West Allegheny to run plays. If they can hold them here and force them to punt, they should get the ball in excellent field position.
Yeah, they really should. And, I'm not surprised Mark Lyons. I believe he has all 3, or now 2, but he had all 3. So why not get the ball back? And, in a game like this, it's still the first half, and I know people say, well, they're up by 5 touchdowns, so they really need to score again. Well, yeah, you do. You want it for a couple reasons. Strategically, 1, you want that clock to run in the second half to shorten the game, and 2, you don't want to give a team that is 7-1, despite the lopsided score, any chance whatsoever to pull off the stunning comeback.
And it's situational, too. You need to be ready for situations like this here late in the season and potentially in the second season in the playoffs. You have to do your situational football, and this would be a situational circumstance to stop the team if you can and get the football back, especially if it would be a close football game. Your team mentally has to be prepared.
Absolutely, and that's the one thing you don't want to get so used to blowing teams out that you don't know what to do in a close game.
Longo in motion, handoff in the middle, and timeout again for Central Valley. On the carry that time was Roman Police, the 5'11 sophomore, I believe. Yes.
Stop by on Drusik.
On Drusik in on the tackle.
Center taking another timeout here.
So 2:02 to go here in the second quarter. 4th down and 11 for West Allegheny. Longo is the punter. Fields is the long snapper. Ray Fields, a 5'10 junior. So Longo will be in his end zone awaiting the snap after the second timeout by Central Valley. Coming up at the half, we'll have the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. We'll also have an opportunity to look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk from scores all over our broadcast area. Talk a little bit maybe about the playoffs if we have some time in the halftime show. A pink out here tonight at Sarge Albert Stadium, raising awareness for breast cancer awareness. 42-7 is our score. 2:02 to go here in the first half. Longo will stand in his own end zone and await that snap. Thompson will stand near his 35-yard line and await the snap.
Thompson to receive.
To Longo and the punt. And the punt will be kicked away from Thompson. They don't want to return, and it will take a West Allegheny roll. Thompson will field it at the 47-yard line, and that is where Central Valley will have it 1st and 10. 1:54 to go here in the second quarter. 1 timeout, up 42-7, now moving right to left.
Rob, with the way Thompson's been tonight, I had visions for a split second there of him picking that ball up after everyone thought it was going to roll dead and sprinting 47 yards down the sideline for a touchdown. And the way this game's gone, it probably would have almost been fitting. But Central Valley in good position to try to punch in another one here with a little under 2 minutes to go.
Slot right flanker near side, low snap. Keeper all the way. It looked like that was a fake play there, and Johnson able to scramble out to the near boundary, gets out of bounds near the 39-yard line, 2nd down and short. I don't know if that was a design play to try and catch the defense on their heels to go with the back to the far side and him to scramble to the near side. Nonetheless, it's a pickup of 8, 2nd down and 2.
I know he fooled me because I thought the ball was going into the line, and all of a sudden there went Johnson around end, and I thought he might be hobbling just a tiny bit when he went back to the huddle. Maybe just a bit, maybe with the left ankle.
Ball on the near hash, handoff just into the ball game. On the carry, Brandon Singleton with the carry. He'll have the first down. That will stop the clock with 1:42 to go to move the sticks. 1st and 10, the ball now will be at the 35-yard line. We'll see Stephen Rutherford, the quarterback, in the second half, I would imagine. If not to start the second half, probably at least after the first series, with Central Valley in command here, 42-7. Taking time off the clock, gets the snap out of the gun. Gets rid of it as he gets drilled, and it's intercepted. Taddy picks it off from his safety position, returns down the near boundary, and he had to get rid of it, did Johnson. He got drilled as he pulled the trigger and got rid of it, and I think the coaching staff's not happy. At some point, you have to maybe take the sack instead of trying to force something. He threw that right into white jerseys. It was a little short, no chance for an opportunity. Taddy, just playing center field, came up with the pick.
Yeah, one of the very, very few mistakes that Central Valley's made tonight, or Johnson has made all season. That's just his second interception in 8 games this year. And, you know, West Allegheny certainly could use a break, but at their 36 with only 1:13 to go, they're going to need to hit a big play here.
Second interception on the season for Taddy. Cornell with the carry. Cornell gets into the secondary. Cornell to midfield, into Central Valley territory, down to the 49-yard line.
Cornell did a nice job there going off tackle and then cutting it back to the left. And he's got speed, and he's got size, and he's got strength, and he has a chance to be a really good player, only a sophomore.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. All 3 timeouts remaining for West Allegheny on the run. Upton will toss it away. That'll stop the clock with 58 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10 forthcoming for the Indians. From the Fry Transportation Instant Update desk, Aliquippa now in again, up 49-0 over Char Valley. Update from Beaver Falls Freedom. Let's see here. Tigers lead 16-0. That was in the second quarter. 58 seconds to go in this one in the first half. 42-7 is the score. Central Valley in the lead. Cornell with the first down as he goes up the middle, across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Tanya in on the tackle, 2nd down, or check that, 3rd down and short forthcoming for the Indians. Clock ticking down to 40 seconds. 3 wides to the near side, flanker to the left. The ball in the center of the field, moving left to right. Cornell gets the carry again, nowhere to go. Gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Host of blue jerseys there for the tackle. In there first was on Drusek, and Drusek is a 5'10 sophomore, just a sophomore, starting both sides of the interior line for the Central Valley Warriors football team. 4th and 5 for the Indians. Obviously go for it. And they'll let the clock roll down to 8-7. Will they get a playoff or not, or are they just going to let it roll? Down to 4 to 3. They'll snap it at 2 seconds. Rolling near side, just letting it fly down the near boundary, and that's it. 1 half in the books. With the score, Central Valley 42, West Allegheny 7. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
I'm Tiani, and I'm equipped.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I'm a Bobcat.
I'm Susie, and I'm a Bobcat.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm Grace, and we're Vikings.
Hi, I'm Dominique, and I'm equipped.
This is Daniel from Hopewell, a proud Viking. Well, it's true that when it's game time, we might be on different sides. It's the other team that we are all part of. A team that will make a real difference once the season is over. That's because we are all training for a very long and profitable postseason at the Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
For 45 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating top-notch performers from all local Beaver County high schools. Our spirited recruits have made the starting lineup and performed like all-stars in many different fields.
Why not join our team? Visit bcctc.org, celebrating 45 years as the best place to start a career. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
It's football season, and if you can see the Aquaman of Beaver County heading deep on a fly route to the end zone, it shouldn't surprise you. This is Jim Riggio, the Aquaman of Beaver County from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. Why, you ask? It's obvious. Going deep or the full distance for our customers, no matter what we are up against, is in our game plan. Now, what isn't quite so simple is getting my web feet into a pair of those cleats. This is the Aquaman from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. And looky here, I'm wide open that is, to doing whatever it takes to serve you. Click bfwater.net.
Have you ever thought about where the football team would be without the quarterback? They probably wouldn't fare very well at all. Going through life with dental problems can be similar. That's because so much of what we do and how we interact and entertain with others is dependent upon good dental hygiene. If dental conditions have you sidelined, start by calling the right signals with dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip. Visit lipdentistry.com. Dr. C. Timothy Lip, your family dentist on College Hill and Robinson Town.
Understood why they kept that nickname when they moved from New Orleans.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium, 42-7 is our score at the half. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. And really the opening kickoff, John, the West Allegheny Indians, a nice return by Nico Taddy, gets them into near midfield, but a penalty brought them back, way back, and that really was the beginning of the end, if you will, for the momentum that West Allegheny hoped that they would have on that first drive. They won the toss. They elected to receive, hoping to maybe get something started and get some mojo going, and it just never had a chance to develop.
No, it's like they got hit by a tornado or something. And I don't mean to sound callous by that, but, just one play after another. Center scores Central Valley on their first two possessions. Then you have turnovers that Central Valley not only got the ball back but scored off of two turnovers. And, I mean, before West Allegheny really ever even got settled into their game plan or their game, they were down 28-0, and exactly what the Indians didn't want to happen. They wanted to come here. They wanted to have some long scoring drives, hold the ball away from that Central Valley offense that can score so quickly. And everything that West Allegheny wanted that happened has gone against them, except for their one scoring drive. But that really has not made much of a dent here as Central Valley up 42-7 here at the half.
Fitzsimmons, an 11-yard run at the 7:44 mark. The PAT was good, 7-0. They then come up with an interception at the West Allegheny 39, and then at the 5:06 mark, a 17-yard run by Fitzsimmons made it 14-0 after the DeSantis kick. Tanya then with a big interception, put his big paws up there, rambled in from 22 yards out. The PAT was good, 21-0. Rylan Jeter on the ensuing drive, just less than 20 seconds later at the 3:14 mark with a fumble recovery and goes in from 6 yards out, and all of a sudden it's 28-0. That was the score at the end of the first quarter. West Allegheny would score at the 6:41 mark. Cornell, a 1-yard run, made it 28-7, and then Central Valley kicked it into high gear. 54 yards, Thompson from Johnson, making it 35-7 after the PAT. Thompson would then have an interception at the 3:40 mark on their own 34, and then at the 2:49 mark, Fitzsimmons a 2-yard run, making it 42-7, our score at the half. That's our score when we come back after the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. We'll take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk and get you second half action. Again, our score at the half, Central Valley 42, West Allegheny 7. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
I just love my Tyler Mountain Water, man.
That's something I hear all the time. I'm Dave Logan with Tri-State Waters, and we deliver everywhere in the Tri-State area. From North Sewickley to South Heights, we deliver from East Liverpool to West Mayfield. We even deliver to the island, well, Neville Island that is. No matter what direction your home or business is, we'll deliver and let you fall in love with your waterman too. Call Tri-State Waters at 724-774-4644.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
Week 8 edition of the Halftime Show here on the Trib Live
High School Sports Network, right smack dab in the middle of the stretch run of the 2022 regular season. More and more teams have clinched after week 7. More and more will be added to that list after week 8. We'll break it down as best as we possibly can as you enjoy right before you enjoy the second half of the game you're checking out here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. No, that's not Chris Harlan. That is James Dotson. He is the Manny Mota of the network. Coming in, nobody gets that. That's under the age of 40, but that's okay.
Can be the closer here. How's that?
All right. Do we have to play that? Is he the one with that toe tap and music?
I can hear my nephew playing it in the background.
I love it. But anyway, let's get right to what we're here for, the playoff picture. 6A, big one going on tonight, Seneca Valley and Central Catholic. Big for both, really almost a must-win for Central Catholic. But Seneca Valley, if they were to fall tonight and to fall next week against North Allegheny, they could be on the outside looking in. So they, big game for them as well. North Allegheny, the only team in. I mean, this is 6A, like 5A and some of the other classifications. Great parity, and has been very, very competitive as well.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, it's kind of interesting that, only 5 teams, yet so many different scenarios that can play out in these last 2 weeks, especially with Seneca Valley having conference games each of the last 2 weeks. But just will be really fun to see how this one plays out tonight with Peyton Wayner against Graham Haddix in that game between Central Catholic and Seneca Valley. But then, North Allegheny with Logan Kushner just shy of 1,000 yards as well, waiting. Which team I think is going to have the balance of running, though, into the postseason is what's going to be the biggest thing to watch out for. But you got to get there first.
Yep. Another big one going on as we move down to 5. Only one of 8 teams has secured a playoff berth in 5A coming into week 8. That's Franklin Regional. Gateway can get in with a win. The big game in the Northeast Conference is Woodland Hills and Pine Richland. They're both 2-1, a half game behind front-running North Hills at 3-1. Penn Hills in that logjam as well at 2-1, taking on Shaler, which is sort of in desperation mode after losing a couple of conference games. So, and then in the Allegheny 6 Conference, Bethel Park, South Fayette, one of the bigger games going on tonight. But again, that's going to come down to week 9, and really that Bethel Park Peters Township game's going to be pretty huge.
Could be a 2-way or even a possible 3-way tie for the chair of that Allegheny 6 conference, Don. It's going to be fun to watch how that one plays out. Franklin Regional, the only team that's clinched, but they still need a win here tonight, or actually next week in week 9 to get the outright Big East championship. They got 3 great athletes there, quarterback, running back, and wideout, and Sarnik, Benza, and Hudak that have been really, really strong for the Panthers. But the Northeast, I mean, we didn't really mention, how does Central Catholic push forward after that magical, crazy finish with the blocked field goal, offensive return for a touchdown? Was it past the line? Was it not? That could be something that can spur them the rest of the way, but it could also fuel Penn Hills, the losing team. And, I mean, you're just glad in the end that it was non-conference. It doesn't matter who makes it into the playoffs in the end. But, Penn Hills is going to finish at Woodland Hills. That could be a big game to keep them at the top with Julian Duggar and Amir Key with their combination. John and Julius George of North Hills still fighting for the top spot. And I give credit to Woodland Hills, a 3A school by numbers, but they stayed in 5A, and they've held themselves well. We'll see what happens tonight. Is going to play big into how their season ends. They could be at the top, or they could be fighting for even getting into the postseason.
Yeah, indeed. North Hills, Pine Richland, a big one next week. South Fayette, Upper St. Clair, also a big one next week in 5A. Let's go to 4A, Parkway Conference. 4 teams are in: Central Valley, Aliquippa, West Allegheny, Montour, Blackhawk. Probably only a matter of time before it could be tonight, before the Cougars secure the 5th playoff spot. The Parkway Conference gets 5. The Big 8 Conference gets 4. 3 have been clinched with McKeesport, Laurel Highlands, and Thomas Jefferson. Thought Latrobe was in. My blow. My bad. But they, in all likelihood, will be in. A lot of crazy stuff needs to happen to keep the Cats out of the postseason. And then the Greater Allegheny Conference going on tonight, the big one for first place, Armstrong taking on Highlands. Another big one going on tonight as far as that three teams battling for the final two playoff spots. Hampton taking on Mars. They're currently tied with North Catholic for third place.
And then they play Highlands next week as well. So big stretch run here for Hampton. But yeah, that battle for first place in that Greater Allegheny Conference. Winner gets at least a share between Armstrong and Highlands. And, you keep hearing about Caden Olson. Get some love to Chandler Timmons, a good dual threat quarterback with 16 total touchdowns, and two others on that team with 10 total touchdowns. But you're looking at the Parkway, looking ahead to next week as well, where you're going to see Taquai Hayes, Brett Fitzsimmons, and Aliquippa versus Central Valley. Winner is going to be the number 1 seed. The question is, where will the loser of that game be? Will they be the 2? Will they be the 3? It's we'll have to look forward to that.
The 3A, Western Hills Conference. Avonworth is in. West Mifflin is in with a win over Hopewell tonight. South Park is in good shape. They have a non-conference game tonight. They could clinch depending on what happens elsewhere. Beaver also, if they could take care of business tonight at Quaker Valley, a big step toward and possibly clinching a playoff berth. Allegheny 6 Conference, Freeport is in. Shadyside Academy in. East Allegheny in with a win tonight. Deer Lakes in with a win tonight, or an East Allegheny win. That would also clinch them a playoff berth. Interstate Conference, EF is in, Bell Vernon is in. Those two headed toward a showdown in Week 9. Southmoreland also back into the playoffs for the third time after a nasty 40-year drought ended in 2019. Mount Pleasant knocking on the door.
Yeah, but look at that Southmoreland-Bell Vernon game tonight as being a big part for the seeding as well, Don. I think it's going to be one to watch for. A tough finish with Bell Vernon, Southmoreland, and EF to finish. And give some love to the Scotties. How about Ty Kefner with 16 touchdowns and 58 receptions on the year? Great numbers there for the Southern Scotties. We'll talk about the Northern Scotties in a minute.
2A, Allegheny Conference, Steel Valley is in, Sarah Catholic is in, Ligonier Valley is also in. 2 more spots still up for grabs. MAC Conference, Beaver Falls in, Neshannock in, Western Beaver in, looking like Riverside and Mohawk will claim the final 2 playoff berths. And Mohawk, that would just add to that great story. And in the Century Conference, Stowe Rocks, Washington in, McGuffey, Keystone Oaks on the brink. KO, if they could beat Washington tonight, clinches.
And then Washington hosts McGuffey next week, which will be big for that number 2 versus 3 spot potentially. Well, either way, no matter what. Steel Valley, Sarah Catholic, looking forward to that one in Week 9. How about the almost 2 quarterbacks now for Sarah Catholic approaching that 1,000 mark, passing the ball on the year. And in the MAC, you're going to have a big game between Beaver Falls and Western Beaver. If the Golden Beavers pull that one off, you have a 3-way tie for the top of the Midwestern Conference, and then you have fun trying to seed them as well. But just great battles, and this is going to be a deep, deep classification here in the playoffs.
Very quickly, Class A Big 7, Laurel, Southside, Union, all in. Eastern Conference, Greensburg Central, Leechburg, Clareton in. Black Hills Conference, Bishop Canevin, Burgettstown in. Osh close for Cherry, closing in also on a playoff berth. Mapletown in from the Tri-County South, playing Monessen tonight for the conference championship. Monessen, California, Carmichael's in pretty good shape down the stretch.
Southside Union is the big game tonight, Don. Winner of that one will have a home game in the playoffs. In Southside, they had Laurel last week, Union tonight, Rochester next week. Yeah. If they lose all 3, they could go from being, if they won all 3, they could have been a 1 or 2 seed. And if they end up losing these last 2, it could be all the way down to a 13, 14. Just craziness in that Big 7 conference.
Tip my cap. James Dotson doing a great job, as he always does, filling in for Chris Harlan here on this week 8 edition of the Halftime Show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
You're listening to high school football on Beaver County Radio, now in our 75th year of covering gridiron action. Coverage is being brought to you by Friendly Federal Credit Union, the Lockwood Insurance Agency, Falcone's Moon Township Board, Electric Garage Door Sales, Fry Transportation, Luxembourg Garbett Kelly and George, Dr. C. Timothy Lipp, the Community College of Beaver County, Keystone Wellness Programs, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Drug-Free Aliquippa, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Tri-State Waters, Medic Rescue, and Beaver County Radio.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium, come back to the Nicki Minaj tunes of the Central Valley Warriors Marching Band. 42-7 is our score at the half alongside John Parado. I am Rob Matze. Glad to have you with us here tonight on our Friday Night Lights, our football game of the week on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP here on Beaver County Radio. We said it going into the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show that we went through the scoring and we talked a little bit, and then we talked a little bit off the air as well. Neither one of us could have played Karnak and predicted this one tonight, 42-7 at that.
No, certainly you thought it was going to be a good ball game. Central Valley, West Allegheny. You know, you look at the rankings, Trib High School Sports Network has Central Valley number 3 in Quad A, and WPIL, West Allegheny 5th, Central Valley. Though undefeated, West Allegheny only one loss, and that was a heartbreaker to Aliquippa back in the 4th game of the season. So, no, you couldn't really expect that. But, Rob, I think this whole Central Valley winning streak has kind of gone unappreciated maybe a little bit. It's awfully difficult at any level of any sport to win 35 games in a row. And to do it in WPIL football, and especially in Beaver County football, to win that many games in a row, to win 3 WPIL titles in a row, 2 state titles in a row, it's an awfully difficult feat. And you think about all the great teams, all the great players in Beaver County history, and nobody has done what Central Valley has done here in 135 in a row. And I just think it's a fabulous accomplishment. It's kind of been undersold a little bit.
When you look at the other teams that are up there that still have much larger winning streaks around the country, they're like these huge magnet schools, or academies, or really football factories, if you will, private schools, etc. But here, this public school from Beaver County putting together this streak with consecutive state titles and consecutive district championships, obviously 3 championships in a row, district championships, WPIL championships, and for them to amass that total in this day and age is truly a remarkable feat, as you mentioned. From the Fried Transportation Instant Update Desk, it's getting cold. We had to put our coats on, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't even plan this. We're like matching, same color
How
jackets
about
and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Aliquippa now 61-0 over Chartiers Valley. That is a halftime score that we can pass along to you. Some other scores around our broadcast area. We can tell you that Ambridge is leading Newcastle 35-0. So Sean McBride has the Bridgers on track there. They finish off against Chartiers Valley next week, so they got a chance to potentially get 3 victories at 2 last year. To get 3, and they've got an outstanding sophomore class that a lot of folks have talked about, and I know a lot of those sophomores are actually getting a whole lot of playing time this year. Beaver leading 48-0 over Quaker Valley, our game on WMBA. Upper St. Clair over Moon 29-0. We can tell you that Beaver Falls leads Freedom 16-0. Elwood City trailing to Neshannock 13-7. That's at the half. Neshannock 13, Elwood City 7. Those are the scores we have from the Fried Transportation Instant Update Desk. So nice to see this Breast Cancer Awareness Night pink out tonight here again. They bring out several people who have overcome the odds to defeat breast cancer and recognize them here tonight. And this is always a cool recognition ceremony that they do here at Sarge Albert Stadium. And I would be remiss if I didn't say something about my very dear friend Tracy Anteline Patton, our Register of Wills, who is a breast cancer awareness, breast cancer survivor. she's the coach's sister-in-law too, Mark Lyon's sister-in-law. But Tracy will get announced here momentarily, and she just had some surgery on the foot, but she's here tonight. She said she was going to make it out here tonight, so good to see her, and it's just a cool thing. I've honestly, in all the years they've done this, not only here but other schools, I don't recall seeing a recognition ceremony like this here at halftime. So that is a cool tribute to folks in the community here. As we all know, cancer, everybody knows somebody that has had some type of cancer or have succumbed to such a terrible disease. And Breast Cancer Awareness getting the pink out recognition here tonight at Sarge Albert Stadium. 42-7 is our score. We are at the half. Central Valley leading West Allegheny. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll have the Electric Garage Door Sales post-game show, and we'll pick the CCBC players of the game. We'll step aside, take a timeout. We'll come back and get you set for second half action. Our score at the half, Central Valley 42, West Allegheny 7. You're listening to High School Football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBBP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
If you're a parent that's already watched plenty of youth baseball or soccer games, you know the value of teamwork. Whether it's the team on the field or your team of family members at home, strengthening that group can pay off in many ways. Keystone Wellness Programs is offering their free Strengthening Families program in Beaver County for families of children ages 10 to 14. Learn how to increase family bonding and communications, all while having fun together. Visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org for details.
Being part of a credit union is like being part of a team where everyone plays and, more importantly, everyone wins. This is Cindy Hiladio for Friendly Federal Credit Union. If you need a loan, it's game time. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union in Baden or Aliquippa. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or click friendlyfcu.org. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You got a friend.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Insurance doesn't adequately describe what we sell. This is Bill Laughlin from Laughlin Insurance Agency. Sure, affordable insurance is the means that allow us to do it, but we really provide at the Laughlin Insurance Agency is peace of mind. It's true, worrying about risk can take the fun and joy out of almost everything. We see every day how having peace of mind can lead to more enjoyment, which, last time we checked, is a fairly priceless commodity. Make life more enjoyable. Visit LaughlinINSAgency.com.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium, it is halftime. The Breast Cancer Awareness Pink Out festivity still going on, so halftime's been extended a bit. The team's still not yet out on the turf, and they should be coming out here momentarily, and then they'll start the clock rolling at 3 minutes. We'll have a rolling clock in the second half.
Yes, we will.
As will be in a mercy rule, 42-7 the score. Next Friday night, Central Valley will take on Aliquippa. That game will be at Freedom. There's been a lot of talk that game would potentially be moved somewhere, maybe even to Saturday, but not the case. The game will be played at Freedom, so very small attendance will be permitted just because of the capacity at Bulldog Stadium. Can't manage much more than 2,500 from what I'm told. So it will be a smaller crowd than you would expect for a game like that. By all accounts, barring a major miracle, it will be undefeated Central Valley at undefeated Aliquippa. Both teams will be in the mercy rule in the second half as Aliquippa is cruising against Char Valley. And this game here, Central Valley leading at 42-7. But a lot of folks had that circled before the season started, and I think a lot of folks Mike claimed that, we knew this was going to happen. Well, I think, all you got to do is see Central Valley Aliquippa play one time, and you kind of figured that there was a really good chance that would happen.
Yeah, I think. And it is a shame, but Aliquippa renovating Ashman Stadium, which is something long overdue, really become into disrepair. One of the great venues for high school football in Western Pennsylvania. Seen better days, and the renovating, and from everything I've heard, everything I've seen, it's really going to be really a good-looking, really rejuvenated Ashman Stadium next year. The downside, like you said, is Aliquippa won't have that home field advantage playing at Freedom. It will be their home game as far as, the setup and things like that, but not truly a home field advantage, and certainly would be a bigger crowd than 2,500 at the pit at Ashman Stadium. But, yeah, I think everyone's been looking forward to that game, certainly in the Central Valley District and Aliquippa. And I think anyone that's really a high school football fan in general in the Beaver Valley and Western Pennsylvania kind of had that game on their minds since the schedule was released back in the spring, and Aliquippa and Central Valley would play each other, 2 defending state champions, something you don't get very often, and certainly almost never in a conference setting in a game that actually matters in the standings. So, I think that's going to be a game. It's going to be very interesting, and I really have a feeling that's going to be one of those games that you're going to remember like 25 years from now, that night. Remember that night Aliquippa and Center played in 2022? I really believe they're both so good, and they're both, to me, I think it's going to be a great game, and I really, I can't imagine it'll be something like this next week.
The only channel that won't be there will be the English channel.
6-7, 6-8. Absolutely. Earlier this year, Blackhawk played at Highlands, Rob, and up in the Trona Heights.
Yeah.
And you know why they built those apartments across the river from the Trona Heights, don't you?
Why?
To rent them.
Oh.
I miss Lawrence.
Lawrence Deuce Skorzinski was
the late
legend.
Larry. He livened up every sporting event he was at. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. He livened them up.
Well, I think it's interesting when I got started back in '87, and it was interesting because WNBA just became a 24-hour station, and we were doing sports, and the late Randy Cosgrove was calling games, Bill Fontana for a while, and I was producing, and then I was doing some sidelines, and then I was in the booth and whatnot. But when I started was the following year is when they started the state football playoffs, because they never had them. Yeah. So we actually did, because Aliquippa goes all the way to the state title, and they lose to Berwick in that game that will go down in infamy. And then both the boys and girls won state basketball championships.
Yeah.
So what a time to start. So I was indoctrinated to a lot of different folks from a lot of different media outlets in the early stages of trying to get my own foot in the door. And it was a lot of fun, and everybody was always so gracious and whatnot in that regard. But the guys like Deuce and really, getting your first taste of talking to different broadcasters from around southwestern Pennsylvania, because there were a lot of characters that did high school football back in the day, and still do, quite frankly. But it seemed like there were a lot more then than there are now. The teams are out on the field. As we said, we had a little extended halftime show for a breast cancer awareness recognition ceremony here at Sarge Albert Stadium. So we'll get underway here a little later than normal, but we will have a running clock in the second half. Stephen Rutherford is warming up on the sideline with Antoine Johnson, so I'm sure we'll see Rutherford at some point, whether to start the second half or soon thereafter. The backup quarterback, he holds on kicks, and saw him last week in the game we broadcast on WNBA in the second half. He played most of the second half against Ambridge. And nice looking live arm. He throws the ball very well, and he is just a sophomore, so you have to believe he is the front runner and the heir apparent after this season, and have an opportunity to compete or get that starting job as an upper upperclassmen. So both teams now coming to their respective sidelines to get final instructions, and then they'll head out onto the turf for the second half kickoff.
You know, the other thing, talking about Central Valley, that really impresses me, and I know the merger's 11 years ago now, so it's nothing new, but you look back at the history of this, brief history of the school, how seamless the transition was for Central Valley, Center High School, Monaca High School. A lot of times when you see mergers, two communities, there are sort of rival communities next door to each other. You know, kids don't get along right away, the parents don't get along right away. But Mark Lyons and his staff made this a very, and not only that, but also the school administrators made this a very seamless transition into Central Valley.
They really did, you know, and a lot of those Center Monaca kids played like baseball together and basketball together and like pee-wee football. As the kickoff is fielded by Central Valley at the 5 across the 10, cutting it inside across the 15-20, bouncing to the outside, trying to find some daylight, finally wrestled down near the 30-yard line. De Niro Simpson on the return, and that's where Central Valley will have it 1st and 10. But, you know, they win a WPL championship the first year in existence.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped.
Yeah.
It brought the communities together, brought the district together, and I think that was a big deal. So the starting unit's still out on the turf there for Central Valley, at least in this first series, up 42-7. Quarterback Antoine Johnson, the 6'1", 175-pound senior, will await the shotgun snap. He'll dispatch wides to each side. The lone setback, Fitzsimmons to his left, will have a wing to the right. 5-man front coming for West Allegheny. The wing comes in motion. Handoff Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons off left tackle, brought down from behind right at the 35-yard line. On the tackle there for West Allegheny was Derek Curry, the junior.
And center going to, I would imagine, try to run some clock, which is already running on the running clock. I'm sure they're not going to do much to try to stop the running clock, and I would think they'd probably want to get one more touchdown here out of their first stringers and then turn it over to the reserves.
Clock rolling here. With a check of the Fry Instant Update desk after this play. Pass play connected. Jarovec off the right side in the flat. There he goes down the far boundary across the 35-30. 25 still on his feet. Brought down from behind down near the 20-yard line.
Well, you mentioned him earlier. You said, you know, he's kind of a guy who could be a weapon as the season gets deeper and deeper. Showed it there with a big gainer, good speed for a tight end. And has 7 catches on the year for averaging now over like 20 yards a catch. So he can be a big play guy.
That'll help your percentage, that's for sure. From the Fry Transportation Instant Update desk, we can tell you Rochester over Northgate 46-6 at the half. 3 wides to the near side. Flanker to the right, ball on the far hash. Moving right to left are the Central Valley Warriors. So waiting the shotgun snap is Johnson. He'll hand it off to Simmons, the running back, who was lined up to his right in the backfield. And he is hit, met, and brought down as he gets to the line of scrimmage. A host of white jerseys. In there first was Curry once again.
And Central Valley moving right along again, 42-7, and just very, very impressive. You know, I know the sake of sounding alike, the same, just amazingly what they're doing to a team 7-1.
And I think mixing it up the way they can, too. And I think they've shown that, hey, if we have to throw the ball, we can.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't throw as much as they probably could. But a pass play here, throwing on the run, trying to find Thompson on the near boundary, a little bit too much in front, and on the coverage there for West Allegheny was Roman Police, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it seems to be in that holding area.
It's either a hold or legal man downfield because of the way that play developed.
Yeah, it could have been 2 for sure.
And that's exactly what they'll call legal man downfield against West Allegheny. Ineligible man downfield to call against Central Valley. So they'll mark off the penalty. It'll be 2nd down and 12. 5-yard penalty puts it on the 22. After the penalty. 2nd down and 12. 4 wides, 2 to each side. Fitzsimmons the lone setback. Out of the gun. Fake the inside handoff. Flanker screen near side. Thompson sidesteps one defender. Does the high step down the near boundary. Will get inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Warriors. He's one of those guys, and it's hard to explain. If you're watching, you see it, but if you're listening, it's a little more difficult to explain. He has a gear that it doesn't look like he's exerting himself.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks like he's just kind of gliding along, and he's going a lot faster, actually, than what it looks.
Indeed. Full house backfield, inside handoff. Did he lose the football? He did. And I think West Allegheny says they have the football, I believe, on the carry. That was Singleton. Let's see. No official word. They'll say it's Central Valley football. They just place it right down on the 2. So 2nd down and goal from the 2. Out of that full house again. Johnson hands it off. This time off the right side into the end zone for the touchdown. Rylan Jeter, the 5'11 senior.
And Central Valley just keeps it coming, and they're not running the score up. They're just running pretty much basic plays and gaining yards. And, you know, you just wonder, last week, Mike Azadian and I were at New Brighton for the Western Beaver New Brighton game. Same situation. And their clock operator never stopped the clock.
Yes.
The rest of the game. He did not follow directions at all.
Ben Scher will get an opportunity to kick, and he will make the extra point. 8:11 to go. 49-7 Central Valley all over West Allegheny. We'll step aside, take a timeout. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. By Barrickman, here for electric garage door sales in Monaca. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers. Dial 724-774-3200, and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors and LiftMaster garage door openers. With over 50 years of experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Give them a call, 724-774-3200, or find them online at electricgarageDoorSales.com.
Yeah, but it was funny to do Brian.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium, 49-7 is our score. Alongside John Parado, I am Rob Massey. 8:11 to go here in the third quarter. Central Valley on their opening kickoff of the second half drives it downfield for the touchdown. Kickoff fielded at the 10 for West Allegheny, across the 15, 20, 25, and hit brought down right there at the actually 26-yard line. That is McCaffrey in on the return. Lawson in on the tackle for Central Valley, and that's where West Allegheny will set up shop offensively.
You know, Rob, we saw the backup kicker Ben Scher get a chance to kick an extra point there, and he's a two-way player. He also plays trumpet in the band,
yes.
I noticed.
Love it. Love seeing the unis out there playing a trumpet or a sax or whatever.
Absolutely.
Get that opportunity. 1st and 10, 7:41 on a turning clock. We're in a mercy rule status. 49-7 Central Valley leading West Allegheny. Slot left. Handoff to Tracy. Bounces it to the outside. Gets to the edge. Nice open field tackle brought down near the 35-yard line. Simpson in on the tackle for the Central Valley Warriors.
Tracy did a nice job of cutting it back out and turned a 1-yard play into about an 8-yard play.
So 2nd down and 2 forthcoming for the Indians. Quarterback Gage Upton goes to the far boundary to get the play call. Will come out, get into the huddle as the ball is resting on the near hash, moving left to right. Slot left, power pistol, strong right. Upton barks out the signals. Play action, rolls to the left. On the run, fires it out in the flat, too tall for the intended target down the far boundary. And just into the ball game, intended target on the coverage there was John Peterson. Intended target for West Allegheny just into the ball game. Looks like Scott Maker, 5'7" junior. 3rd down and 2 for the Indians. Split left, flanker to the near side, power pistol, ball on the near hash. Gage Upton, the 5'9" senior quarterback, awaits the shotgun snap. Hands it off to Tracy. Tracy bounces to the outside. Will have the first down as he is gang tackled near the 39-yard line. In on the tackle there first for the Central Valley Warriors. Into the ball game is Garavac, and also I believe that was Brady Hudson, the 5'11" senior. So give Hudson his just due. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball on the far hash, now moving left to right out of the power pistol. Upton barks out the signals. Flags fly, whistles blow. Some movement on the line of scrimmage. Will it be a false start or will it be an encroachment? Let's see. And it will be a false start. False start against the Indians. 5-yard penalty. Our officials tonight: Rick Noka is the referee, Mike Bruno is the umpire, Henry Frengel is the linesman, Gary Lutz is the line judge, Drew Flora is the side judge, Will Schaefer is the back judge. 1st and 15 with the ball resting on the 34-yard line. Flank to the left, split end near side. Power pistol, handoff to the second back. This time on the carry for the Indians is Max Paceros, and Paceros gets down near the original line of scrimmage. Pick up about 4 on the play. Shearer on the tackle, the 5'9" freshman for the Central Valley Warriors. That's Ethan Shearer. They'll stop the clock with 4:57 to go. I don't know what the reasoning is. The ball got moved from the line of scrimmage. They have to reset it.
One of the center players inadvertently kicked the ball when they went to line up, and so
substitutions happening. So you're getting some different people out there in the huddle, not on the line of scrimmage. That will occur. 2nd down and 11. Clock now rolling again. 4:45 on the turning third quarter clock. Split near side, flanker left. Ball on the center of the field. The handoff goes to Paceros again. He'll get down near the 40-yard line, and that'll bring up a pickup of 2 and bring up a 3rd down and long 9 for the Indians.
You know, the one thing that comes of these games for Central Valley, twofold. One, you get a lot of your younger guys' game experience, and they've gotten quite a bit of game experience so far this season. And 2, theoretically, your starters, your main guys, should be just a little bit fresher as you go deeper in. And I'm sure Central Valley believes, and rightfully so, they're going to play quite deep into the playoffs.
2-step drop on 3rd down, looking for a seam route. A little bit too much on it. Intended target there was Tegan Tomai, the 5'10" freshman. And 2 Central Valley defenders back there on the coverage. That'll bring up a 4th down, and they'll be forced to punt the football. Longo will come on out and attempt the punt. Wait the field's long snap. I say attempted punt because you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, you really have anything to lose by faking it down 42 in the 3rd quarter.
And they'll line up 3 wide left, different formation that you normally see on a punt, so not necessarily setting up for a return. You have a lone returner. Central Valley, I think, is going to call timeout. Or no, they're going to say delay a game.
Yeah, they seem to take a long time getting. I don't know why. They had all the right personnel on the field. They just didn't get the snap off for whatever reason. But it wasn't usually you delay a game on a punt like that. You see guys scrambling on and off the field for the punt team. So not exactly sure what happened there on West Allegheny to get the penalty.
If it was different or new personnel or what. 4th down and 13. The ball will now rest at the 36-yard line. Longo runs ahead, gets off a boomer. Nice high hang time, and we'll take a West Allegheny roll down to the 20, inside the 20, all the way down to the 17-yard line, and that is where Central Valley will have it 1st and 10. We'll take a timeout. 49-7 is our score. Central Valley in the lead. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
After any big game, people will be talking. This is Ellen Bross from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. The same is true when you get your new vehicle from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Neighbors, friends, and co-workers will notice the new winning style reflected in the car, truck, or SUV you just got from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Located on University Boulevard across from Robert Morris. Click and save at moonford.com and discover what the talk is all about. Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium before they can even get lined up for a play. West Allegheny calls a timeout, so that stops the clock with 2:39 in the third quarter. We'll keep it right here during this quick timeout. Central Valley will have the football. Looks like their reserves are set to check in. Stephen Rutherford, the 5'10 sophomore, will check in at quarterback on the season. Rutherford, 5 of 14, 81 yards for the Warriors. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll have the Electric Garage Door Sales postgame show and also have the Community College of Beaver County Players of the Game, CCBC Players of the Game. We'll pick a player from each school and announce them on the air in the postgame. 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Rutherford out of the gun, gets the snap and gets the quick handoff, going straight up the middle for the Warriors on the carry that time. And getting positive yardage was Brandon Singleton, the 5'6 sophomore. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Some new players in for West Allegheny as well. Some fresh white pressed jerseys out there as the clock continues to tick, 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 down to 2:05 and counting in the third. Singleton gets the inside handoff off the right side, bounces it to the outside to the 40-45 midfield, down the far boundary, stops, sidesteps the defender, can't evade the next defender, and is finally brought down near the 40-yard line. Outstanding piece of running that time by Singleton.
Yeah, they put the second team back in, and he looks like Fitzsimmons Jr. here with that run by Singleton, and it just goes to show you the depth that Central Valley has. Putting your second team tailback and same result.
Singleton on the season, 317 yards on 30 carries, a 10.6 average. A run like that will boost it. He's got 4 touchdowns as well on the season. 1st and 10 Warriors. Ball on the far hash, moving right to left. Rutherford barks out the signal, awaits the shotgun snap, gets it belt high, hands it off to Singleton. Singleton goes straight up the middle across the 35-yard line near the 34 before he is hit, met, and dropped to the turf by a host of white jerseys in their first. J.C. Bozick, a 6'4 sophomore.
Central Valley moving right along here down the field. And, it's a tough call. You get into this game, in this type of game, you don't want to run the score up and be bad sportsmen. But by the same token, you're putting your second team in. Yes. They want to show what they can do. So you can't say, hey, just sit on the ball. You got to let them try to gain some yards as well.
Slot comes in motion, gets the jet sweep, cannot get to the edge. Good job that time by West Allegheny to string that one out on the defensive side. That should be the last play of the third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. With the score, Central Valley 49, West Allegheny 7. Fourth quarter action coming up on the flip side. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, a law firm of AV-rated attorneys and super lawyers. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, helping you put your life back together. Attorney Joe George.
You worry about getting better. You worry about taking care of the medical side of things. We'll take care of all the legal side. I don't want you worrying about whether a letter needs to go out to an insurance company. You worry about getting to your doctor's appointments. You worry about getting your physical therapy appointments. You worry about getting better. If you have to have surgery, you worry about take you back and forth to the surgical center or the hospital. And all those things, I try to put my client at ease from the standpoint of, look, this is where things are going to go. You just worry about getting there on your side of things.
For your initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
I hope he ends up being okay.
Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, for him to be an awesome this long. Back back here at Sarge Albert Stadium. 49-7 is our score. Start of the fourth quarter alongside John Parado. I am Rob Matsey. Glad to have you with us on this perfect autumn night for football. We started out at about 56 degrees at kickoff. Temperatures slowly dropping as nightfall came about shortly after kickoff, and the carry goes to 22. That is Singleton. He's tripped up on the turf, actually. He'll lose a couple of yards, and that'll bring up a fourth down situation for Central Valley with a click, click, click turning clock here with the Mercy Rule. Ambridge now up as we take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk. 42-0 over Newcastle. I don't know the last time they scored 42 points.
It's been a while, that's for sure. And, you know, like you said, Ambridge, a bright future there, but you like to try to get a few wins in the present, and that'll feel good for Sherman McBride and his Bridgers tonight.
Slot near side, flanker left. Little delay draw, keeper actually. Good sleight of hand by Rutherford, the quarterback. He'll dive ahead across the 30 and we'll have the first down. So he caught West Allegheny on their heels just like he caught me on my heels. I thought he did the play action and he kept it himself. So
yeah, it was a good fake, no doubt. It faked me out too. And, you know, we'll see. Central Valley here decided to go for it on fourth down. And can't really blame them there. It's kind of too far into West Allegheny territory to punt.
Snap comes. Handoff this time goes to Central Valley in the person of Makai Parham, the 5'8 senior. He and Malachi are twins on the team. Getting some playing time here late in this football game. 10:25 on a turning fourth quarter clock. 49-7, Central Valley leading West Allegheny. Second down and 8 for the Warriors. Slot left, flanker to the near side. Awaiting the shotgun snap is Rutherford. It's a little high. He'll hand it off to Parham again. Parham off right tackle. We'll get down to the 22-yard line before he is tripped up. On the tackle there for West Allegheny was Austin Conforti.
This is always a tough one for both teams. You know, West Allegheny, obviously, you're down 6 touchdowns with a little under 10 minutes to go. You just want to kind of let the game end here. Just a stunner to think that this has been this lopsided.
Well, you don't want any injuries either.
No.
You know, especially as the temperature continues to drop. Parham on the carry will be close to a first down. If not, it'll be just shy of 4th and 1. The one thing about the turf, though, when nightfall comes and you have change of temperature where it's warmer and then have that quick drop, you know, you tend to see some slippages. We saw a slip earlier in this drive. Singleton got the handoff and went down to the turf. So you have to be careful out there. There's no question about it. Ensure you have the adequate and proper cleats as well. 4th and 1 for the Warriors. Rutherford is going to take a 2-step drop. Too tall for the intended target on the near boundary. Rutherford was trying to connect on the near sideline to David Fetkovich, the 6'1 senior, but they could not. And that'll bring up a change of downs, and they'll change of possession, I should say. They'll turn over on downs to the West Allegheny Indians, who will have it moving right to left. Looks like I'm going to have to pull the winter coat out for next week because I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It got chilly in a hurry here. It really did. It was pretty pleasant. Like you said, 56. Not warm, but certainly not cold at kickoff. But it is definitely gotten colder, and West Allegheny bringing their second team in.
Mixing up my words, I'm so cold. 1st and 10. Brody Malatak, the 5'8 freshman in at quarterback, gets the snap and hands it off to Saris, the 5'11 junior. He'll get 2, second down and 8 forthcoming for the Indians. 51 degrees is our current temperature, so really didn't drop that much. But when that sun goes down, that's what happens. That's just old man talk, I'm sure.
When I made a bathroom. Hey, you know, you got a pretty good stadium here when the soap dispensers in the men's room says Central Valley Warriors with the logo on it.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Indeed. Power pistol right. Hand off. Goes to Saris again off the right side. Gets to the edge. Will have the first down as he gets across the 30. Down near the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Turning clock down to 7:53. Central Valley in the lead 49-7. Substitutions at mass for both teams as some of the West Allegheny faithful start to depart Sarge Albert Stadium. Ball resting on the far hash, moving right to left. Ball sitting at the 33-yard line. The quarterback in for West Allegheny, Brody Malatek, a 5'8 freshman. He'll have backs to each side. Hand it off. Saris, he'll get to the outside. Can't get to the edge, though, because he is hit, met, and brought to the turf in a hurry by Central Valley. Stringing it out on the defensive line that time for Central Valley. On the tackle was Mike Bendakovic, a 5'10 sophomore.
You know, it's not a long trip to North Fayette Township from here in Center Township, but it's going to seem like a long trip for West Allegheny back home after this one. You mentioned some of the fans leaving, kind of trickling out on the far side, but for this team it's going to be a kind of a rough one to put behind them right away.
Indeed. Saris on the carry off the right side. He'll get to the 48, or check the 38-yard line. 3-yard pickup. Samuel on the tackle, and he stays down on the turf, so he's injured, so they'll stop the clock with 6:28 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll keep it right here during this injury timeout. Not sure exactly what the injury is to West Allegheny's Max Saris, the 5'11 junior, but he rolls over and goes onto his back, so I'm not sure, again, what the extent of the injury is.
And that's the last thing you want to see in a game like this, is somebody get hurt, because the outcome is no longer in doubt, and you just want everybody to get off the field healthy and look ahead to next week when West Allegheny hosts Montour. And of course, as we've talked about already, the big showdown between the two unbeatens, two of the best teams in the state of Pennsylvania in a 4A, or really probably say any class, not just 4A. Aliquippa and Central Valley play at Freedom High School next week. And, you know, the last thing you want, you know, both these teams are going to the playoffs the week after. So the last thing you want is to see anybody get hurt this late in a game where it was out of hand.
Upper St. Clair leading Moon 35-6 as we take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk. I can also tell you after 3 quarters, Southside now leading Union 28-0. Aliquippa still 61-0, the last score we had over Shar Valley. Ambridge over Newcastle 35-0. Beaver over Quaker Valley 48-0. Our game on WNBA. West Mifflin over Hopewell 29-7. Last score out of Beaver Falls Freedom was Beaver Falls up 16-0. 3rd down and 5 after the injury timeout. Ball on the 38. High snap over the head of the quarterback. He will get the ball in time but quickly be brought down to the turf. No chance to evade that rush. After the high snap there for Central Valley on the coverage was Ashawn Johnson, a 5'11 junior. 4th down.
West Allegheny's quarterback, Brody Malatek, you hate to see too many people land on top of him. It's only 5'8", 130. Still got a little bit of growing to do.
I was about 5'8", 130 in the 4th grade.
I don't know if I ever was.
You and I both might have just skipped. Lambert comes on to punt. He'll get an opportunity instead of Longo, and that goes off the side of his foot. And we'll take a Central Valley dead ball bounce right there at the 36-yard line, the West Allegheny 36. So conceivably, if Central Valley can roll that clock down, get 1 first down, we might roll this one out. We'll see. As the play clock and the game clock will start up here momentarily, and there we go. Central Valley is prepared. They'll come to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10. Ball on the 36. 3 wides, 2 to the right, flanker to the left, the wing on the right side. Waiting the shotgun snap is Rutherford. He'll get the inside handoff to Singleton again, and he'll get down near the 30-yard line. A pickup of close to 6 on the play before he is hit, met, and brought to the turf. In there first for West Allegheny was Jake Babonsky, the 5'6 sophomore. 2nd down and 5. Steele's in the game. 32, not 22 on the cut carry. So I take that back. Michael Steele's a 6-foot sophomore. I'll give him his airtime. Second down and 5. Rutherford barks out the signals, gets the shotgun snap at his belt. He'll keep it on the read option. Bounce to the outside, turns on the Jets to the 5, to the Powell on touchdown. 31-yard run for Rutherford. He turned on the Jets.
Did. He showed good speed there. Got to the outside and was gone. Looks like he could be a good dual threat quarterback coming up behind Johnson as well.
So 55-7. On for the point after try. Ben Schur, who made his first attempt earlier. Lindsey will do the holding. He'll get the snap. It's high. He'll get it down in time, and the kick is up, and it is no good. So the score will remain 55-7 as the PAT fails. We'll step aside with 4:32 to go here in regulation. It has been all Central Valley. Up 55-7. You're listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
I just love my Tyler Mountain Waterman.
That's something I hear all the time. I'm Rick Cropper with Tri-State Waters, and we deliver everywhere in the Tri-State area. Some even say our service is out of this world. Well, I'm not sure about that, but Tri-State Waters does deliver to Moon, Mars, and everywhere in between. No matter what direction your home or business is, we'll deliver and let you fall in love with your waterman too. Call Tri-State Waters at 724-774-4644.
Okay, the statue to me. It's your alma mater.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium. And we'll have high school football for you tomorrow as well. Our score here is 55-7 Central Valley over West Allegheny. Alongside John Parado, I am Rob Matsey. You'll be doing double duty this weekend. You got a game tomorrow, right?
Yeah, me and Mike Azadian, or I should say Mike Azadian and I use good English going back to my alma mater here. Don't want to embarrass him, but my favorite Armenian announcer, Mike Azadian, and I will be together at Rich Need Balla Field for Western Beaver and Mohawk in the Big 7 Conference. And big game for Western Beaver if they want to have a shot to at least get a share of the conference title. They play Beaver Falls next week in the season finale, so they need to beat Mohawk, who are getting better as the season's gone on. And it should be a good ball game.
Kick off and up 55-7. Central Valley will boot it away. Fielded at the 10, across the 15, 20, cutting it inside. Trying to get it at the inside to the 25-yard line. And on the return there to the 26-yard line. You mentioned Rich Need Balla Field. We lost Rich recently. And, we talked a little earlier about all the years you and I have had the chance to cover high school athletics. And you meet a lot of characters. You meet a lot of legends.
Sure.
A lot of high school legends. We talked about Sarge Alberts. We're here at Sarge Alberts Stadium. And Rich was one of those guys who was a legend.
He really was. He won WPIO titles in 3 different decades, was 3 distinctly different eras at Western Beaver, and just a wonderful guy on top of it.
Pretty good player himself in high school.
He was.
College. Run goes up to the 29-yard line. Let's see. Yeah, that's where the keeper there into the ball game. Was that Madlack? It's a little harder to see the numbers when the guy's smaller. Not going to lie. I'm going to have to pull the binoculars out, I guess.
Yes, I believe he is still in the game. Yes, he is. Malatet.
The snap comes, bounce to the outside, still on his feet. That actually is Luke Monty in at quarterback. Monty is a 5'6" sophomore.
Stop by Aaron Lawson.
Lawson on the tackle.
It'll be good to visit the Twin Cities tomorrow. Industry in Ohioville. The Twin Cities, as I like to call them. The Metroplex. My hometown, Ohioville, where I grew up. And the Ville, and a lot of friends that grew up in the Big I industry. We had quite the time.
When you go to the big city, you go down to Midland.
Absolutely. That's a big day out. Isley's.
Slot right flanker to the near side. Gotta get a skyscraper. Chip hand. Monty to the 36. This is what happens when the score is 55-7, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sure a lot of people really care that I grew up in Ohio.
Hey,
I tell people are fascinated.
It is. End of the third quarter. Neshannock leads Elwood City 26-14 on the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk. Well, we got to start thinking about our CCBC players of the game.
I think we do.
And we will have the Electric Garage Door Sales post-game show at the conclusion of regulation here. Now at $1:49 on the clock. Monty, the quarterback, gets the snap. Belt high. Reed hands it off inside. And the carry this time for West Allegheny is Babonsky, the 5'6" sophomore. Clock ticking down under 1:30 and counting.
Well, you talk about the players of the game. Who would you go with for Central Valley? I have somebody in my mind I would go with. I'd say Jackson Tanya. I don't know if you'll agree with me or not. You could go with a lot of different directions in this game. But he, to me, really seemed to make the plays that broke this game open early.
You know, you hear about it at all levels of football. We're seeing it with the Steelers, okay? And I'm not comparing Tanya to anybody like T.J. Watt, but you take that one defender out and how that just affects the way your defense is able to play and perform. And I think he's one of those guys.
He is.
Even as a junior a year ago, he was explosive. He was dynamic, double digits in sacks, and he's the unquestioned leader on the defense as a senior. And when big plays were necessary, he dialed them up. The big interception, the forced fumble, and I would tend to concur. But we'll have the official announcement here during the postgame show. This should be the last play of the game. Monty drops back. The lefty fires it out in the flat, finds the open receiver. That's Jake Monty. So Luke to Jake. They'll have something to talk about on the way home, and that should be the final play of regulation. Final score, 55-7, Central Valley victorious over West Allegheny. Stay tuned. We will have the Electric Garage Door Sales post-game show. We'll take a look at the Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk and have the CCBC players of the game. Again, final score, Central Valley 55, West Allegheny 7. You're listening to High School Football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
When Mary arrived for her second visit, she opened my door and danced from the door to my front desk with this huge smile on her face. And then she just started bawling. She starts to tell me that it was the first time in 12 years that she felt relief. And then I started to well up.
That's Dr. Sean Ritchie of Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. And Mary Danced In is just one of his thousands of success stories.
Peripheral neuropathy, if I can explain it in terms that they feel it, it's like if you would sit on your foot and your foot falls asleep, you start to tap it and it comes back to life. Or their foot never comes back to life. It's always feeling that numbness, that pins and needles, that tingling, and it just never goes away. So Mary comes in, proceed to hear that she's had this for 12 years. Got to the point where she was about to go into a walker. 2 days later, she's dancing.
For your free consultation, call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Or go to marydancedin.com.
I'm Dr. Sean Ritchie, and I'm teaming up with Dr. Jared Yevans to bring hope to the neuropathy sufferers in Beaver.
If you're a parent that's already watched plenty of youth baseball or soccer games, you know the value of teamwork. Whether it's the team on the field or your team of family members at home, strengthening that group can pay off in many ways. Keystone Wellness Programs is offering their free Strengthening Families program in Beaver County for families of children ages 10 to 14. Learn how to increase family bonding and communications, all while having fun together. Visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org for details.
McGee Heating and Air Conditioning in Aliquippa has been in business for nearly 60 years. Now that's experience you can count on. When you call McGee Heating and Air Conditioning at 724-375-7112, they'll answer your call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sue Curlin and her winning team service most brands, and McGee Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and operated. As always, they wish their best to our local teams. McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Main Street, Aliquippa.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hubbell. It's the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
Room and get the coat, instead of just grabbing them right after the game.
Back here at Sarge Albert Stadium. 55-7 our final score, Central Valley over West Allegheny. Welcome into the Electric Garage Door Sales post-game show alongside John Parado. I am Rob Matsey. Glad to have you with us here this evening. Boy, we saw explosiveness here from the get-go in that first series for the Central Valley Warriors, their first offensive series. The opening kickoff after West Allegheny won the toss, they elected to receive. A penalty forces a nice return to midfield back, and really 3 plays, 3 downs and out, and Central Valley gets the football, and then the rest is history. They just kicked it into high gear. They score on that opening drive at the 7:44 mark to lead 7-0. They led 28-0 after the first quarter, 42-7 at the half, and then score a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Jeter a 2-yard run, Rutherford a 31-yard run to make it 55-7. Time now for the CCBC players of the game. We'll pick a player from each school. And John, what about the West Allegheny Indians?
I'm going to say Nico Taddy. I know it wasn't a night of many stellar performances for the Indians. He did have an interception, only the second interception that Antoine Johnson's thrown all season. He did a really good job in the return game early, gave West Allegheny some decent field position. Unfortunately, they didn't take advantage. And then Central Valley realized, we're not going to kick the ball to him anymore, and or he might have had a chance to have an even bigger night. But I thought he played well on defense, and like I said, the interception and well on special teams.
Yeah, it seemed like his nose was in on a lot of plays tonight, had a nose for the football, so totally concur. As for the Central Valley Warriors,
I'm going to have to go with Jackson Toya. Jackson Tanya. As we talked about toward the end of the game there, 2 really big plays. When the score, I know Central Valley had already gone up 14-0 real fast, but, he intercepts the screen pass and picked it off in midair and ran it in for a touchdown. Then on the very next play from scrimmage, he forces a fumble and, center picks it up and runs it in. And all of a sudden it's 28-0, and for all intents and purposes, the game was over at that point with still a little more than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. But it wasn't just those 2 plays. He was around the football all night. He was in on a lot of tackles, and he just his ability to make big plays but also make the good solid plays, just what makes him such a great defender.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the big paw, the interception, forced fumble. I concur. I mean, we could have picked any one of the offensive players. Fitzsimmons a big game, obviously Thompson a big game, but sometimes I like picking the big uns, and he's a big one, and he really earned it here this evening. And the showdown that everyone thought would occur will occur, and that'll be next Friday night at Freedom High School, because that's where Aliquippa is playing. We discussed that at length. Their field being renovated this season, and they play at Freedom, so it will be a small crowd. So big audience next Friday night.
Yes.
We expect on Beaver County Radio, as Central Valley will travel to Freedom to take on the Aliquippa Quips. Both teams obviously in the playoffs. Seeding's on the line, and conference championships, Parkway Conference Championship on the line, come next Friday night. The Fry Transportation Instant Update Desk will continue to get updated throughout the evening. When we send it back, we'll have the wrap-up show, and they'll run down all the scores from around our listening audience. And good to be with you tonight, my friend. I had a lot of fun.
I did too, Rob. It was great. It's been way too long since we worked together, and it was a blast. It really was.
Well, hopefully we'll get that opportunity again sooner rather than later. But I believe that's going to wrap things up here from Sarge Albert Stadium. Once again, the final score, Central Valley 55, West Allegheny 7. You've been listening to high school football on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Choose your path at Community College of Beaver County and start learning for real life at a realistic cost. CCBC's 2-year degree programs get you trained and earning a salary in less time and with less debt. Programs in aviation, nursing, education, process technology, criminal justice, and more will prepare you for a real future. You belong here. Apply now or learn more at ccbc.edu.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Bob Barrickman here for Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors and LiftMaster garage door openers. With over 50 years of experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Give them a call, 724-774-3200, or find them online at electricgarageDoorSales.com.
Thank you for tuning into coverage of 2022 high school football on Beaver County Radio and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. After tonight's game, head to beavercountyradio.com for all the latest scores from across the Beaver Valley. And make sure you keep your dial set to the goal line for action all season long on 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.